Welcome on in, race fans, to tonight's event under the lights here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, America's home for racing. It is race number 6 of the season here in the All-American Racing League, Charlotte Motor Speedway, for what should prove to be potentially the most exciting race of the season thus far. Joining me for tonight's event, my good friend and co-host Tom Richter. How's it going, Tom?
Good evening, Arie, and good evening, race fans, and happy Saturday to you all. Hope everybody's having a wonderful weekend as these drivers get ready for the Christmas chaos. 160 out here tonight at Charlotte Motor Speedway for 240 miles of racing that these drivers have in front of them out there tonight. We have been 5 winners in 5 different races in the All-American Racing League. Will we go 6 for 6 tonight?
That is the question. Currently, top of the board as we round out the final couple of minutes of practice. It's Jamie Walker, arguably the fastest driver to not have won a race yet this season. He's top of the board with a 29.73. That's 1/10 faster than anyone else has been able to put down out there. Brian Zimmerman, Alex Fuller round out the top 3 as we've gone a little under 2 minutes before qualifying begins.
Top 5 is rounded out by Cody Gibson and Chris Carroll. That's the top 5. Josh Kanata currently 6th on the board with Mark Arthur. Christopher Norris, last week's winner at Sonoma Raceway in that number 38 machine, is back out here and currently 8th in practice. Ryan Rose and Zachary Wake, the top 10, as these drivers make their final laps of opening practice.
While we are waiting for qualifying to begin, let's take a look at some of our race information. We're at Charlotte, the mile-and-a-half track, sitting in North Carolina. Of course, this is our final race for a couple of weeks here in the All-American Racing League. We're going to take a break for the holidays before we return on the 3rd of January for some short track action in Richmond. We're heading to Rockingham in Michigan in the following weeks after such, as we draw closer and closer to the playoffs, which do sneak up on you real quick here in the All-American Racing League schedule. We've had 5 winners in 5 races, as Tom alluded to just a moment ago, and I think out of all of the tracks we could go to, this is one that really provides potentially the best opportunity to get that 6th out of 6.
It really does, Ari, but you take a look at the drivers who have already won a race this season so far. You had Zachary Wake, Mark Arthur's already got a win, Matt Semple picked up a win at Auto Club, Christopher Norris and Cody Gibson, all winners in the All-American Racing League. But you got drivers like Nolan Milnes. He's been up there every single week. You got drivers like Joseph Klein, who's been up there every single week. Was fast at Phoenix, got into some trouble, not to his own doing. Gabriel Ngoli has been knocking on the door. So there's a lot of drivers that are trying to find their way into the playoffs, because a win does lock you in to the playoffs, which I mean, you take a look at the playoffs beginning in March. You got just a couple of names. You got Las Vegas, Darlington, Nashville Fairgrounds in the first round of the playoffs. So that's going to be a challenging one to get through. But checkered flag is out over practice, and drivers are getting ready to begin their qualifying efforts.
We'll wait to see who the first couple of drivers are to light up on the timing page, electing to take their lap here. We are looking at a track being shown down upon by the sunset. We will have some changing conditions as the night progresses. The sun will be beating on the track right now, keeping it nice and warm and slick, but as the event goes on, it'll start to cool off quite a bit. We'll turn on those floodlights and we'll up the grip around this surface. So who are going to be the drivers best equipped to adapt to the changing conditions, we'll find out as we go. Currently watching the 55 of Gabriel Ngoli, going to be the first driver through turns 3 and 4 on this warm-up lap. And I'm curious to see here, Tom, whether it's the first or the second lap that proves to be the real hot lap here.
You can see Gabriel in there. We saw a lot of drivers in practice fighting the car. We were talking to one of the admins here in the All-American Racing League, and he was telling us, after 15 laps, he had about 20% wear on his right front tire, and that is significant wear. So we will see some tire degradation out here tonight, and some drivers fighting to hang on to it. I do think that it's going to be lap number 2 is going to be the better one for Gabriel Ngoli, as he was shaking the car coming across the start-finish line. First time by for Ngoli, going to move him provisionally to the pole, first and only driver to take a time. He's now pushed back down to second.
That he is. It looked like Goalie was spending a lot of the first lap trying to build heat in those tires, going crazy on the wheel. Down the backstretch we go, and towards turn 3, still kind of all over the track right now, is the Coca-Cola machine. Down into turn 3, parks it right on the line before getting back on the throttle. Going to have a nice exit off of 4 straight to the line. Let's move that 55 car up to P4 on the board.
Fastest driver out in practice is also the fastest driver in qualifying. Second lap complete for Jamie Walker in that Chevy Camaro. Top of the board so far as they run right now. Clicked over to John Perkins, currently 12th on the board, 13th on the board after his first lap. What does he have in that 34 to complete lap number 2?
At the line from 13th place up to P5 for Mr. Perkins. We got Christopher Puglisi in the 53 making his way across the line as well at around the same time. We're going to move driver 53 up to P12 with the conclusion of that lap. Top of the board right now, it's Jamie Walker, Ryan Rose provisionally on the front row. We've got a couple other drivers making their way around.
Other drivers beginning their laps. Matthew Pavlik in the number 30. Out here, he is about to begin his first lap of time and see what he is able to do. Gonna come across the board 16th and going to have to improve if he wants a top 10 starting position.
That he is. We'll see what we can do on the second lap down the back stretch. Having taken a middle line through turns 1 and 2, driver 30 currently sits 16th on the board. Front row remains the same. Christopher Norris jumps up to P10. Larry Bell in 11th. At the conclusion of his second lap. Off of turn 4 we go here with Matthew Pavlik, and across the line we'll see if we can improve from P18. Yes, indeed, P6 for driver 30.
A good pickup for Pavlik. That's going to move us over to Joshua Kanata in the number 16 as he's working his first lap down here on the south end of the speedway. He's going to come out of turn number 4 and see lap number 1 for the 16. Josh has been fast in the All-American Racing League and solidly sits inside the top 10 of the playoff points and trying to improve his position here.
Already with 2 poles on the season is Josh Kanata in the 16, the first 2 races of the season at that. We'll see if we can get that 16 Toyota Supra back on the front row tonight through turns 3 and 4, taking that higher line, going to carry that momentum all the way down the front stretch to the line. Chris Carroll jumped up to P3. Joshua Kanata jumps to P15, not quite as high as he would have wanted. And Mark Arthur, new provisional pole sitter with a 29.93, is going to edge out Jamie Walker.
One driver out of the 26 car field yet to take a time, and that is Sam Dyer in the number 31. All cars on the track have completed their full 2 laps as Josh Kanata actually going to be coming across the line to complete his second lap. See what he's able to do to possibly improve. Looks like he is going to move up to 3rd place on the board, so a top 3 starting position for Josh.
Top 3 for the 16, back on form, and with that time right there out of that Grinch Mobile, we have our provisional rundown as qualifying is coming to an end, and we get ready to set our field officially for tonight's action.
Well, Arie, it's a Saturday night. What do you say we go racing here from the All-American Racing League? America is home from racing at Charlotte Motor Speedway in the Christmas Chaos 160. Mark Arthur going to be rolling off from the pole position out here tonight. He's got Jamie Walker to his outside. Joshua Kanata and Ryan Rose make up row number 2. The top 5 is rounded out by Chris Carroll. The bottom half of the top 10, Matthew Semple going to be starting 6th with Cody Gibson in 7th. John Perkins, Matthew Pavlik, and Alex Fuller, the top 10.
In 11th place, it's going to be Nolan Milnes ahead of Zachary Wake in P12. Starting 13th, Gabriel Ngoli alongside Christopher Norris in the 38. Larry Bell starts us off in P15. Brian Zimmerman in P16. Stoney Benfield in the 75 car. He's going to start P17 alongside Tanner Marr in the 4 in P18. Rounding out the top 20, it's going to be Christopher Puglisi and Rob Higgs Jr.
Our field of 26 is rounded out tonight by William Bruton in 21st place with Shane Johnson to his outside. 23rd is Brian Troy, followed by Jackson West. The top 25 is Chris Lawrence, and the singular driver that did not take a qualifying time out here tonight, Sam Dyer in the number 31, rolls off 26th.
All right, drivers getting their vehicles parked on the end of pit road, and we are getting ready to make our pace lap around here as the sun continues to set around the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Waiting for the last couple of drivers, including our pole sitter in the 12 car of Mark Arthur.
While drivers are getting strapped into their cars and firing up the engines, Ari, let's set the scene for tonight's race. 2 stages, 4 points out here tonight. Stage 1 going to be lap number 35. Stage 2, 85. So you have a 35 lap run and a 50 lap run to lap number 85 before drivers see the 2 batches of stage points that are going to be handed out here. And we heard some issues possibly about fuel being a little bit short on both stages.
Gotta love it when fuel comes into the picture. Gonna really test these drivers on more than one front. We already know the tire wear heading into tonight's event was not what these drivers had expected. They're gonna have their hands full with quite a few challenges, not least of which all of these drivers and their fancy Christmas-themed paint schemes trying to put theirs in victory lane.
One driver is going to find victory lane out here tonight. Will it be the 6th different driver in the All-American Racing League? That is the question that 160 laps will give us the answer to at the end of tonight's race, as the field of 26 makes their way behind the iRacing.com pace car on the backstretch here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Hey, we're getting into the Christmas spirit on the Cyber Thunder Broadcast Network. We got a poll going. Currently, give us the best movie of all time. Home Alone currently leads. Somebody's got to put a vote out there for It's a Wonderful Life. But Ari, it's about time we go racing.
I tell you what, my vote's for Home Alone, so I think everything is going as it should go. But field's going to get bunched up right here. A couple of big gaps further back. Pace car is already getting ready to pull off on to pit road. And with that, for the very first time tonight, the field is in the hands of Mark Arthur, Jamie Walker. Into the start zone we go. Green flag is down, and we are go for race number 6.
Everybody sees the green flag and up through the gearbox as they run 4 gears strong down into turn number 1. Mark Arthur on the inside, Jamie Walker on the outside, Josh Kanata on the inside of row number 2, followed by Ryan Groves. They're going to run side by side through turns 1 and 2. Mark Arthur with the advantage on the exit of 2.
The 12 car pulls a car length over second place. Jamie Walker holding tight on that outside line. The first 2 cars are clear before we get side by side, a couple of rows deep. Battles for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Just behind the race leaders. Off of turn 4 we go. Mark Arthur, the pole sitter, he's going to lead lap 1 as Ryan Rose in the 78 clears for 3rd place.
The top 4 single out. Arthur, Walker, Rose, Kanata. The first battle out on track is Matt Semple under fire from Chris Carroll on the backstretch on the exit of turn number 2. They're going to race side by side down the backstretch here as they now enter into turn number 3, working lap number 2.
Out of turn number 4, that position's being held onto by the 16 of Kanata, but he's got 2 drivers breathing down his neck on either side. Matt Semple looking to the outside, Chris Carroll looking to the inside. Kanata's got to make that car a full track width wide and see if he can hold off these 2. Matt Semple fancying a shot to the outside. Can he stick a nose there? No, he can't. But the 8 car is going to clear the 51 of Carroll as we head down into turn 3.
Matt Semple's able to slide in front of Chris Carroll, give that top 5 running position to Matthew Semple, up 1 spot from his starting position out here tonight. Other battles happening out on track right now as the top 5, 6, 7 have singled out right now. You've got Gabriel Goli chasing down John Perkins in that 34.
Goli putting that 55 car all over the track, kind of like what we saw in practice and qualifying from that red Coca-Cola machine, trying to figure out every possible inch of track that he can use to make that Ford Mustang go, and sometimes that's what you got to do. We're almost 3 wide further ahead. Matt Semple to the outside of Joshua Kanata, battle for P4 as we've got a 3-car breakaway out front. We're now 2 by 2 as Cody Gibson, driver in the 7, is now inserting his name into the picture.
Cody Gibson on the outside using the momentum, and he's going to make his way around Josh Kanata halfway down the backstretch. Now Chris Carroll in the 51 is going to poke low on the inside of the 16 of Josh Kanata. Going to make that pass on the entry of turn number 3, and they race off turn number 4.
Here we go then. Cody Gibson making his way up through the field, as is Matt Semple, both up 2 spots from where they started and looking to chase down 3rd place runner Ryan Rose. Joshua Kanata continues to fall down the running order. He's now down 5, make it 6 positions from where he started this race, losing that spot now to Gabriel Ngoli in P8.
All this is happening, we still have a close battle up front. Mark Arthur still leads over Jamie Walker by just about 0.2 of a second. And then you got to go about a second back before you find third place of Ryan Rose. So the top two have separated themselves with Mark Arthur, Jamie Walker. I think Jamie, Arie, has probably been, and I think you alluded to it, the driver that a lot of opportunities have gotten away from Jamie, and he may have an opportunity here to take the race lead.
He very well may. Down the back stretch we go. We're going to see this side draft in action down into turn 3 to the inside of Mark Arthur. The high side line is good for defending, but oftentimes not as good into turn 3. And we see it right there as Mark Arthur elects to let the 20 of Jamie Walker through. New leader across the line. It's that orange 20 car, and Jamie Walker back in control.
Jamie Walker looks to put a little bit of daylight between him and second place, Mark Arthur, now as they run out of turn number 2. Jamie not able to pull away just yet, but still about a second gap between second place and third place. And anytime you make a position change like that, Arie, if you're not able to go down there and make the pass when you want it to happen, that's going to bring the rest of the field a lot closer to the race lead. He was able to do it on the first try, and that has allowed these two drivers to stay in control of this race.
To your point, it's so important to get that pass done as soon as you have the opportunity, especially at these tracks where they're so momentum-based. A track like Charlotte Motor Speedway, the speeds are high, the corner speeds especially. You can't let that momentum slide at all trying to make these passes. And not only to mention, if you don't get that pass done, Tom, you're sitting in that dirty air longer and longer, and that is going to kill your tires for the rest of the run.
It absolutely is, because then you start to have to put a little bit more wheel into it. You have to start to play with the throttle a little bit more. And every time you have to do that, you're heating up the right front, and when you heat up the right front, that is not a recipe for success, and your tires are going to be even angrier at you. There would be even grinchier at you than what they already are from what we've heard from these drivers out here tonight. Tire wear being an issue.
Even grinchier, that's a new one, Tom. I've got to give it to you. Riding on board with one of our biggest movers of the race so far, Gabriel Ngoli, riding in P7 right now, trying to chase down Chris Carroll. Ngoli is up 6 positions from where he started this race, and if we head back a couple of more positions further in the field, we see the 75 car of Stoney Benfield. He is our biggest mover, up 8 positions now, making his way ahead of the proverbial hornet's nest, and boy, if I have ever seen a hornet's nest, Tom.
Absolutely, that hornet's nest is being led by last week's winner, Christopher Norris, who's got Brian Zimmerman, Nolan Milnes, Tanner Marr, all up in this mess right behind them on the exit of turn number 4. They're going to make their way across the start-finish line to begin lap number 13. But this is, if you're the 38 right now, you look up in your mirror, you say, I don't want to be back there.
Certainly not, and I think that was the case for Benfield of the 75 as well. A couple of these drivers finally making their way through, finally getting clear of the action. I can't help but notice, Tom, there's some names back here that we traditionally don't expect to see this far down the running order. Nolan Milnes in that black and orange 1 Camaro. Joshua Kanata, who is now, by the way, down how many positions from where he started? 21 positions from where he started. Could this be fuel saving, as was alluded to earlier on?
It very well could be. We do know that they are approximately about 2 laps short on fuel. So Joshua Kanata possibly thinking of stretching this to the end of stage number 1. That would help him out in 2 ways. Right, he would get the stage win if nobody else plays the same strategy, but it also saves a set of tires that these drivers will have out here tonight. Remember, they only have 4 tire changes out here tonight for these 160 laps, so doing this now while he's losing and bleeding positions could be worth it in the end.
It certainly could. It very well could be a double stinting tire situation. Just riding as easy as you can, not worried about stage points. Try and make these tires last an additional stage if possible to give yourself another set towards the end. I know I've had to run a couple of races like that myself, and this is oftentimes what you'll see happen. You can ride as slow as you want to if you're not worried about the stage points. You just got to go fast enough to avoid going a lap down, and you're pretty much good.
The top 5 has started to close in on race leader Jamie Walker right now. Mark Arthur still currently in second, but new third-place runner Cody Gibson under fire from Ryan Rose. Matthew Semple still in the top 5, but the entire top 5 now within a second, and they have cut that lead in about half over these last handful of laps. Last time we talked about them, they were about 1.2 seconds back. Now they're sitting about a half second back. So.
Jamie Walker continues to lead ahead of Mark Arthur, but we've got a new contender in third place, and his name is Cody Gibson, a winner on the season already, looking to get up here and spoil the party. Just getting around Ryan Rose in fourth place. Matt Semple having a quiet night so far, but running real strong up in the top 5 as we see the top 5 that we were just mentioning start to close in on one another. We're kind of seeing a little bit of an accordion here.
Cody Gibson once again going to go to the outside lane here. And I do like the outside lane here, Arie. It allows you to put the power down a little bit sooner than the inside, especially if you got the car on the outside. Gabriel Angoli and the horizon back there are going to get into the wall on the exit of turn number 2. He's going to carry on, but it allows you to carry that momentum down. You were talking about the momentum-based track and cars that these drivers are running out here. And we're seeing a battle now for second with Cody Gibson. Makes his way around Mark Arthur, so more moves from that number 7.
More moves from the 7, who's become one of the biggest movers of the night. He's up 5 positions from where he started, and Cody Gibson now sets his eyes on Jamie Walker, our race leader, who we're on board with right now, watching that blue Chevy Camaro make his way in, and we can hear Jamie Walker throwing in the clutch on corner entry.
Still managing to keep the race lead while doing that, so that's pretty impressive to be able to do that. We were talking with Cody Gibson earlier tonight, just a couple of minutes ago, and he said that he was not happy with how his car was reacting to the tire wear out here this evening. But so far, through the first 19 laps of tonight's event, he has been the biggest mover out here tonight and is looking to take the race lead from race leader Jamie Walker.
Seems like we're having a lot of fuel saving going on up towards the front, probably a big result of this bringing together of all of our front runners right here. We have that huge gap in the field before you get a little bit further back to drivers like Alex Fuller in 9th place, kind of leading this pack further back here. As Cody Gibson might be looking to take over the race lead despite the fuel situation.
Cody Gibson going to follow Jamie Walker down into turn number 3. Don't hear Cody Gibson shutting the car off, at least that corner. He may be doing it in other corners that we just didn't catch, but Jamie Walker is still the race leader as we complete lap number 20. Take a listen here to Cody's engine and see if he is also. He's going to keep it under power.
He is going to keep it under power. Makes me wonder what the plan is from driver number 7 throughout this stage, if he's just committed to kind of pushing and hoping for a caution, or just maybe going to take that splash. Either way, you've got to figure with these drivers up towards the front pushing, there's no way they're going to double stint their tires.
It kind of also magnifies what the 20 is doing. At least a couple of laps ago, the 20 was shutting his car off, and he's still doing that here. So the fact that he's able to do that and also manage the race lead is pretty impressive here. That's not an easy thing to do.
No, it definitely isn't an easy thing to do. Jamie Walker doing a fantastic job so far, holding on to track position, trying to save what fuel he can. And we'll see by the end of stage 1 here if he does enough to do both. But if you can hold on to that track position and save enough to get to the end of the stage, you can't really ask for much more out of a driver.
Side-by-side battle now for third place. Ryan Rose trying to make his way around Mark Arthur as the lead has separated just the tiniest a bit, but we're going to get close quarter racing on the exit in turn number 2 with Mark Arthur up on the outside, Ryan Rose on the inside. They're actually going to make a little bit of contact on the backstretch, maybe even a little bit more contact going down to turn 3.
These two are certainly not afraid of racing each other pretty hard down into turns 3 and 4. Rose gets the nose ahead out of the corner. He's going to slide up and clear Mark Arthur in the 12 car. Matt Semple just behind, getting a great front row view to that battle. Move Ryan Rose back up to P3.
The battle for stage points is also on. Brian Zimmerman and Alex Fuller trying to hang on to a top 10 finish of the stage. Christopher Norris, last week's winner at Sonoma Raceway, trying to take some stage points away with a top 10 finish in the stage here, which is coming to a close in just over 10 laps time here.
These two are pretty dead even through turns 3 and 4. Zimmerman on the inside is going to get the advantage. Can he pull clear of Fuller? Yes, he is clear. The 45 is going to have to tuck back in line. as they get that sorted. Brian Zimmerman up to P9 as they run, trying to chase down Gabriel Ngoli, the tail end of our lead pack of 8 drivers. Got about 3 seconds separating these kind of 2 packs of cars, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely, and these drivers all know that those stage points could be the difference between getting into the playoffs and missing it. We've seen it so many times throughout the years of drivers missing it by 1 or 2 points, and when the playoffs come around, you say, man, I could have had just 1 more stage point and I would have been in the playoffs. But these drivers doing everything they can here as we see 10 laps to go in the stage. Jamie Walker still the race lead, but Cody Gibson isn't going anywhere, and now Ryan Rose has closed that gap.
Yeah, you've got to figure as drivers are saving fuel and managing, they start to put themselves in better positions than those around them. You know, a driver like Ryan Rose, he gave up 3rd place earlier. He was just kind of riding. That maybe allowed him to save enough fuel to where now he is the driver pushing. Now he can come put the pressure on these guys, forcing Cody Gibson to make the move on Jamie Walker to the outside, perhaps feeling the pressure from behind, move Cody Gibson up into P1. Jamie Walker going to keep it planted on the inside, but he is going to let that one go, trying to hold on to his fuel situation. New race leader, driver 7.
Cody Gibson already got a win in the All-American Racing League. I believe it was at the Monster Mile a couple of weeks ago that Cody Gibson was able to break into the victory column, and he looks to be the first driver to 2 victories out here this evening. Cody Gibson currently the race leader, Jamie Walker in 2nd, Ryan Rose in 3rd. Running in the top 5 all night is Mark Arthur and Matthew Semple.
Closest battle on track right now, Zachary Wake and Stoney Benfield. This is battle for P13 in that 2nd pack, as we see a little bit of a crossover attempted here by the 75. Is going to pull even and get the pass done on our inaugural race winner in Zachary Wake, driver of the 39. These drivers are continuing to get it sorted out a little up ahead. Alex Fuller in the 45. He's got pressure from Christopher Norris, our winner in Sonoma 1 week ago, trying to find rhythm here at Charlotte. We got Nolan Milne starting to make his way back up into the picture, driver of the 1 car who's been so fast on so many race weekends so far this season, perhaps saving a little something and we're just waiting to show it at the right time.
Yeah, it's a little surprising, Arie, to see Nolan Milne's back here. Started 11th, currently runs 11th, trying to take a top 10 spot away from the 45 of Alex Full. He's going to take a look down to the left side of the 45 on the backstretch. A little surprising to see him on the outside of the top 10 looking in right now with a handful of laps to go in stage number 1. Nolan has been somebody that's been pretty aggressive when it comes to points racing and trying to put his car in the best possible position.
Certainly has been, and it has been paying off as well. Milnes is certainly a name that we expect to see in the winners column before the season's up. At the very least, on one occasion, he's going to get this move done on Alex Fuller in the Scooby-Doo machine, move Nolan into the top 10 positions and into the stage points. More importantly, a little up further, or rather up here, we've got Jamie Walker putting the pressure back on Cody Gibson. So Cody Gibson, he went up there, Tom, he took the lead, but Jamie Walker said, hold on now, I'm not going to let you get too far ahead.
Last time by, they were about dead even on their times. Cody Gibson just 4/100ths of a second slower than Jamie Walker. Jamie was a little bit faster, marginally at best, but we're going to see 3 laps to go in the stage. Got to wonder now if we start to see the opposite of what we saw before, with maybe Cody Gibson now fluctuating with the clutch and the throttle, and Jamie Walker saying it's go time at 3 to go in the stage.
Well, I tell you what, Tom, Cody Gibson is running a higher line on the racetrack than what Jamie Walker is doing, and while that's good for defending position, he's using more fuel. If you're trying to save fuel, if you're close, you think you want to be on the bottom and kind of cut the track as much as you can. So maybe Cody Gibson saved enough in the early part of the race where he was kind of quietly running around. It's very possible, but it does cross my mind.
One driver on pit road, Stoney Benfield, in the number 75. He is currently on pit road, the only driver to make a pit stop through stage 1 so far, as we see Popsicle Sticks 2 laps to go in stage number 1. Cody Gibson still being chased by Jamie Walker on the backstretch. Cody Gibson still using that powerful outside line, as we're going to see 1 to go in the stage next time by.
We got another battle further back in the furthest reaches of the points here for the stage. A car on the wall. That's Brian Zimmerman in the 22, who just got passed up by Nolan Milnes. Milnes fancies a shot at the 55 of Gabriel Goli as well. In the meanwhile, Jamie Walker finally makes the move in. We're under caution.
Issues for, I want to say the 30. It looked like the 30. We'll take a look.
That's Stoney Benfield.
The 75 just came off of pit road, so issues for Stoney.
All right. Well, this will certainly bring us to the conclusion of stage 1.
So he's coming out of pit road here, and the incident's going to happen pretty much right here.
Wow, that is incredibly unfortunate. I think I know exactly what happened here for Stoney. I think he probably hit that bump at a high rev point. It's so easy to lose control of the car on pit exit here at Charlotte. There's a bump right there. If you're in the high revs, you can lose that thing if you're not careful. Real unfortunate to have it bring out a caution. Real unfortunate to have it happen in front of the field, and certainly to acquire as much damage as he did in that 75 car.
The other thing that allowed to happen, Arie, Jamie Walker was in front of Cody Gibson at the time of the yellow flag. So they are completing lap number 35 now. So Jamie Walker going to walk away with the stage win.
Certainly is. Made the pass at the right time in the same straightaway in which he took the lead from Cody Gibson. The yellow flag flies, and that's going to be 10 points headed Jamie Walker's way, which is certainly going to help make up for the fact that Jamie Walker was not here for the initial couple of races of the season. Not that I think he'd be hurting on points. He is certainly one of the fastest drivers here in the All-American Racing League, but it helps nonetheless as he brings the entire field onto pit road for the first round of pit stops.
Everybody comes down, and they are going to look for their box. Four fresh tires out here tonight. Jamie Walker, Cody Gibson, Ryan Rose, Mark Arthur, Matthew Semple. They enter pit road. That's the top 5. How will they exit? Everybody comes down. They make the left-hand turn down into the box. Don't see anybody sliding through the box.
Moment of truth as we get ready to head up a 50-lap stage 2 here. Jamie Walker is going to get the run off of pit exit. Be interested to see where Mark Arthur cycles out here, having that first pit stall right at the end of pit road. Could not be more of an advantage if you tried here at Charlotte at the very least, as we watch some other drivers from a little further back in the pack getting their service as well. Getting ready to pull off a pit road and make their way onward. I tell you what, looking at all of these pit stop times, it doesn't look like anyone's trying to save a set of tires. Really makes me wonder what was happening for some of the drivers who we saw kind of uncharacteristically down the order. I know Joshua Kanada's back up to P12 now, having been as low as about 23rd. So he's had a very roller coaster kind of a night so far, but all the way down the field, 4 tires.
4 tires, that's what everybody was begging for. So now, Arie, we just ran 35 laps. We know that a fuel run is about 33, 35 laps. This is going to be a 50-lap run. We expect drivers to possibly split this going into stage number 2, because it's going to be a whole 50 laps.
It's going to be quite the challenge. And as a matter of fact, why don't we take a quick word right here with our Stage 1 winner, Jamie Walker. Jamie, it's Tom and Arie up here in the booth. Congratulations on winning Stage 1. You timed it perfectly for that caution to come out, I tell you what. But more than anything, Jamie, we're real curious as to what the tire situation has been out there for you guys tonight.
From hearing the guys here in the chat here, they were pretty low. I'm still sitting pretty strong here at 10% more than what they had, so I wasn't pushing it very hard. So, I mean, I guess I'm happy about that.
I would take that 10% over the others as well. I tell you what, we got a longer stage 2 ahead of us. We've seen the field cycle just a little bit here. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you, sir.
And there is our Stage 1 winner.
Jamie Walker giving us a word here on the Cyber Thunder Broadcast Network as we get set to go racing for stage number 2. I still think we're going to see some strategy here, Arie. I still think we're going to see drivers maybe pitting somewhere around that lap number 60, maybe 65 mark. who stretches it, who short pits it, and if you're running in the back, it's now your opportunity to do something different than the race leaders and set yourself up for stage number 3.
I tell you what, any opportunity where we can get some differing strategies is an opportunity I'm excited to see. As we head towards the restart zone, field in the hands of Jamie Walker this time, gets a great launch from the inside. He's going to take about 2 car lengths of an advantage down into turn 1 ahead of Cody Gibson and the rest.
See the entire field come through in a flash of color as they enter down into turn number 1. Nolan Milne's going to send it all the way up to the outside wall on the exit of turn number 2. Contact in the back. Alex Fuller involved. Matt Semple involved. Nolan Milne's involved.
Oh, they're still going. Tanner Marr, hard hit. Going to collect the 83 as well.
Tanner was so close to getting through there, as were other drivers. The 83 of William Bruton gets involved in that, and that is that's going to be one we're going to have to take a look at here. So Nolan Milne's on this restart here. He's going to jump up to the outside of the 8 of Matt Semple and the 51 of Chris Carroll. Got to wonder if somebody here didn't realize that they were 3 wide or what happened.
Well, I tell you what, it was a great run from Nolan Mills. It looks like he kind of gets loose and starts coming down into Matt Semple, who's right there because they're 3 wide, nearly 4 wide. And those 3 coming together, at that point, you're just kind of along for the ride. You've got the entire pack closing in on you from behind. A lot of drivers with nowhere to go. Get an onboard shot here with Tanner Marr, who we know gets a hard hit. All the smoke, can't figure out which way to go in time, starts to go to the right, but just can't. And that right there, that is going to be significant damage for the 4 car. He's going to come down and collect Bruton in the 83.
Christopher Puglisi going to have a hard impact with the inside retaining wall. Zachary Wake, looks like Zachary may have missed everything. Let's take a ride with Zachary Wake here real quick if we can't grab. There we go. On board with the 39. I don't think he got any damage, at least from what we saw in that initial replay here, but let's go on board at speed.
You know what? That's pretty smart right there. The second anything looked out of place, he got out of line, he got on the brakes, he said, I'll wait.
I tell you what, Arie, it's not very often that when you do that, and there's not many opportunities to miss the entire wreck, that you're able to do so, but the 39 just stops on the track and avoids all sort of contact there. Good job by the 39 getting that Ford Mustang slowed up.
Tell you what, that was a pretty intense wreck. I'd love to get one more shot at it at speed, watching Nolan Milnes coming out of turn 2.
Yeah, it looks like the rear end just kicks out on the 1 of Milnes, and from there, it's just a guessing game as to whether or not you get through. Josh Kanata gets through. William Bruton gets involved. Tanner Marr involved. Well, our first multi-car incident out here tonight, Arie, and it comes at the beginning of stage number 2. Not what some of these drivers wanted, as some of them were kind of just running back there, maybe saving a little bit of tires. We heard some drivers saying that they were maybe playing some strategy in stage number 2, but Jamie Walker continues to lead the race with Cody Gibson.
Not what they would have wanted, and certainly not what they would have expected, I don't imagine. I mean, it was a great move for the first 3 quarters of the corner for Nolan Milnes up on the high side, but whereas a lot of drivers were ready to settle in right there and buckle up for a longer stage 2, a lot of them found themselves involved in the incident. I tell you what, though, up front, Jamie Walker, Cody Gibson getting ready to re-rack, restack on that last restart. Jamie got a phenomenal launch. We'll see if Cody Gibson can kind of keep a little bit closer this time through the restart zone. He's going to have Mark Arthur on his rear bumper, whereas in P3, it's going to be Ryan Rose in the 78 pushing the 20 of Walker.
Looks like Jackson West and Nolan Milnes still down on pit road with what appears to be terminal damage on the 76 and 1 cars out here tonight. So an early end to Jackson and Nolan's night. And we get set to go racing once again here from the All-American Racing League on a Saturday night on the Cyber Thunder Broadcast Network.
Field's going to get packed together 2 by 2 all the way through as the pace car dives off of the racing surface. This time, green flag once more ready to be given to Jamie Walker in control of this race. Driver of the 20 on the inside. To the restart zone we go. And this time around, Jamie Walker still gets a good jump, but Cody Gibson's able to stay a little bit closer.
Jamie Walker comes through. The gearbox is 4 gears strong. They're all going to come down into turn number 1. John Perkins puts a battle underneath Mark Arthur with Alex Fuller directly behind him. Josh Kanata working on the outside. You see this little gaggle of cars down the backstretch here, led by Mark Arthur.
Down into turn 3, the top 4 have single filed out, and then we're 2 by 2. Perkins on the inside, Kanata on the outside. Fancies maybe to the outside of Mark Arthur. Yes, indeed, across the line. They're going to be about dead even as Kanata takes the outside line into turn 1, looking for P4.
He gets a push from Christopher Norris around the outside of the 12, and that's going to move Mark Arthur down 2 spots on this restart. Christopher Norris now up in the top 5 with Christopher Norris in 4th.
Much of the field settling into their rhythm for stage 2 right here. A couple of battles going on. Ryan Rose under pressure in 3rd place. Jamie Walker under pressure in the race lead. Cody Gibson fancies leading a couple more laps as he continues to hound that Home Depot Chevy Camaro.
All over the back of Jamie Walker is Cody Gibson as they go into turn number 1 and work their way down the backstretch here. Cody closed really close up to the back of that 20 on the entry of turn number 1. He's going to do the exact same thing down here in turn 3, following in the tire tracks of the 20. That's putting some dirty air on Cody's car, but right now he doesn't seem to be too affected by it with the fresh tires.
Don't look now. Here comes the 16 car of Josh Kanata. Make it a 3-car battle for the race lead. That 16 said, I'm tired of running further back as Cody Gibson gets a fantastic run through turns 1 and 2 on the high side. He's going to peek a nose out ahead of Jamie Walker and might just bring Kanata with him.
Josh Kanata's going to stick with the outside lane and push the number 7 of Cody Gibson back to the race lead. Give Cody Gibson the race lead as they run once again. Kanata on the outside of Jamie Walker under fire. Possibly losing 2nd place now is Jamie Walker.
One thing we know is that Jamie Walker said his tires were significantly better than the others he was racing with in his call through stage 1 right there. Could this be Jamie deciding that he wants to maintain what he was doing on his tires, even if it means giving up the track position? He's going to let these 2 go and see if he can't reel them back in later.
I like it, Ari, because we have a longer run in stage number 2, and we're seeing kind of the opposite here with Joshua Kanata. Whereas at the beginning of the race, he fell all the way back to, I think he said 23rd earlier, and now he's back up here battling for the race lead.
Absolutely. I tell you what, Joshua Kanata's had the most interesting race so far tonight. He might make it a little more interesting if he can get up here and lead a lap. As we see a battle further back, that's Alex Fuller on the outside of Mark Arthur. Battle for P6 into turn 3. Those 2 are staying dead even. And just up ahead of these guys, a driver who looked to be struggling a lot in stage 1, Christopher Norris. He finds his way into the top 5 after winning in Sonoma last week. Looks like he's switched to flip as well.
We're keeping a close eye on the race lead. Cody Gibson has opened it up just a little bit over 2nd place Joshua Kanata, but Christopher Norris works side by side with Ryan Rose down the backstretch here. Jamie Walker is slowly losing touch with the race leaders here, and I still got to wonder if some of that is tire strategy. Like you were talking about, Ari, when Jamie was under fire from Cody Gibson, he didn't really push the issue too much. Maybe 1 attempt, maybe 2 attempts at it. He looked up in his rearview mirror and said, you know what, go ahead.
Yeah, I do like what I'm seeing out of the 20. Knowing how good of a driver Jamie is, he's certainly monitoring his tire situation. And I don't hate it. Jamie, he's staying in tow, especially with 2nd place right there of Joshua Kanata. He might have a little pressure coming from behind, but as this run goes on, I think it's going to swing back into Walker's hands, especially given the longer stage right here as we continue to watch Christopher Norris move up through the field. He's up 10 positions from where he started. That currently makes him the biggest mover of the race, looking to chase down Jamie Walker for P3, but at what point do these tires kind of hit that proverbial cliff? At what point do they start to switch over and we start to see those who have been taking care of them start to go a little faster?
Yeah, I think you answered your own question. I was going to say, I think it depends on what you're seeing right now as we are working lap number 51. Approximately, probably about 12 laps of green flag racing on these tires with the early stage 2 caution out here in the early goings of tonight's race. Mark Arthur currently runs back in 6th, but other battles out on track right now, Matt Semple and Matthew Pavlik currently battling for 14. Matt Semple's going to try to slide up in front of the 30 on the exit turn number 2. It's going to be close, and he's not going to be able to do it.
That he isn't, as he continues to work that inside line. Matt Semple was involved in that big incident on the backstretch, but looking at that 8 machine, it seems like it's in pretty good shape at the moment, so the damage was not terminal by any means, just loses all that track position. Let's not forget, Matt Semple was a top 5 car at parts in stage 1 of this race, so if he can make his way back up through the field, I'm sure he'll be looking to be a contender as it plays out as well. Further up the board, here we go, Tom. We've been waiting for it. Jamie Walker starting to move forward once again as he looks to the inside of Joshua Kanata.
Last time by, Jamie Walker was the fastest car on track with the 3107, was a couple hundredths faster than your race leader, Cody Gibson. As they run right now, come across the line, let's take a look. That time by, he was over a tenth faster than the race leader, so maybe we're starting to see that flip of the switch.
It's going to have to be something that these drivers take note of if they want a chance later on, especially in stage 3. Notice what's going on right here, especially those who Jamie's racing. If you're Cody Gibson, if you're Josh Kanata, you're taking notes right now. You're seeing just how well this is working out. Usually you don't want to give up track position. It's so hard to get track position in the modern day stock car racing series, whether it's this one, whether it's the trucks, whether it's the cup cars. It feels like it's the end all be all, but sometimes giving it up to save those tires does prove worth it, and I think we're seeing that right now.
And it's so counterintuitive, and it goes against everything you're ever taught to go slower, to go faster in the end of the run, and that may be what we're seeing here. Christopher Norris, we're taking a look back at a battle for the 3rd place running position. Christopher Norris chasing down Joshua Kanata. Ryan Rose within camera shot as well is Mark Arthur. That's the top 6 as they run. Christopher Norris, our biggest mover of the night so far, currently up 10 positions.
This battle continues to intensify as Ryan Rose looks to move up ahead of Christopher Norris. It looks like the 16 and the 38, but those were definitely 2 drivers who were pushing really hard on the early part of the run. I'll be curious to see just how much this starts to swing out of their hands as this continues on. We see Ryan Rose peeking a nose to the inside of Norris. He's going to have a look to the inside into turn 1. Can he make it stick well enough?
It's going to get close as they're going to almost make contact on the exit of turn number 2. Ryan Rose has to get out of the throttle just a little bit, and that's going to allow the momentum for the 38 of Norris to carry down the backstretch as he still pulls the draft from Joshua Kanata into turn number 3 to begin lap number 58 here in just a moment.
All the while, they're going to bring the 12 car in just behind, maybe make this a 4-car battle. Looks like Ryan Rose might have enough to clear. Yes, he does into turn 1 this time. Move Rose up to P4 as Christopher Norris is going to get a nose full of that dirty air. Bring Mark Arthur into the picture, who might have a shot to the inside.
See Mark Arthur chasing down the 38 here as he's going to possibly take a look down to the inside. Maybe a little bit of contact there on the entry there. Drivers make their way through without any incident. Has to get out of the throttle, and that's going to allow Christopher Norris to pull about a 2-3 car length distance on the front stretch.
That battle simmering down just a little bit, but further up ahead, Ryan Rose looking for another spot. That's P3 he's going to take away from Joshua Kanata. Tries to keep a nose pin on the outside. He can do it. Move the 78 car up 1 more position. Joshua Kanata might fancy a little bit of a crossover right here. Moves down to the inside in that Grinch mobile. Can he make it stick? The 78 blinks out just a little bit. No, he can't. Rose is going to have the momentum all the way down the front stretch to comfortably take over 3rd place. And, oh, by the way, Christopher Norris doesn't seem to be going anywhere just yet.
Halfway through stage number 2, and the top 3, Cody Gibson, Jamie Walker, Ryan Rose, as they run right now, that you're looking at a battle for 3rd place between the 16 of Kanata as they're making their way around a lap car. I want to say that is that's
54.
That's Chris Lawrence involved in an earlier incident out here. Jamie Walker on pit road, first car to hit pit road, the 20.
First car to hit pit road.
There.
It is at lap 60, end of 59 on to 60. You did hint at it potentially being the case. So Jamie Walker going to be one of the drivers to split the stage.
He was not the one that I was thinking of, though, Arie, with saying that he had a little bit better tire wear than the rest of the drivers. So not who I was thinking was going to come down pit road. We'll see if any of the other leaders follow suit.
That we will, and to your point, I'm watching the time. Sure enough, Jamie Walker, 7.4 seconds on pit road, no tires. He is comfortable enough with his tires. He's just going to take fuel and save that set for the end of the stage.
Christopher Norris, Ryan Rose, John Perkins, they answered the call, and they are also down pit road. The race leader, Cody Gibson, still stays out on the racetrack. Joshua Kanata, Mark Arthur, the top three as they run. Let's go on board here with Cody Gibson. Maybe coming down this lap, and he's going to stay out another one.
He might fancy continuing to run it out, and I mean, hey, if you run it out and you catch a bunch of these drivers a lap down, especially considering the lack of tires being taken, it's not like these drivers are going to be running faster. So if you're the race leader, if you're Cody Gibson, I mean, you're all going to be pitting at various times. Nobody's taking tires. You're not really going to see a difference in overcut, undercut. You might have a chance to catch them all a lap down, and that benefits you.
I don't know that Cody Gibson and Joshua Kanata, Mark Arthur, Zachary Wake, I don't know that they realize that they're taking no tires.
That's true. That is true. That's going to have to be something that they either hear from some others who are in the know. Maybe they're listening in on the broadcast, but either way, I'm seeing 6, 7, 8-second pit stops all the way up and down the board. There's a couple 10 and 11 seconds. That tells me some drivers might be taking 2 tires. But for the most part, this is shaping up to be quite interesting. If Cody Gibson stretches this tank out, he's giving some of these drivers a huge opportunity to go up an entire lap on a number of the contenders who have made their way down on pit road.
Yeah, and the other thing that it does, Arie, is that we only have 13 cars on the lead lap right now. An untimely caution or timely caution, depending on which side of the fence you're on in this tire strategy right here, could flip the race on its head.
It certainly could, as we watch this battle for P4 on the track right now. That's that's Zachary Wake on the outside. And on the inside, It's Matt Semple in the 8 car as they make their way out of turn 4 and to the line. These two are going to stay dead even. They've been dead even for about an entire lap at this point. Neither one ready to hand over the position.
Matthew Semple edges ahead down into turn number 1 for the 4th place running position over Zachary Wake as they exit turn number 2, and they're going to settle out Zachary Wake with a slide on the exit of turn number 2. That's going to flip the positions, and now they'll go single file down to turn number 3. The race leader, Cody Gibson, Joshua Kanata, Mark Arthur, the top 3, still stay out on the racetrack.
I tell you what, last time I look at a name rail of a car when I'm when I'm calling who I'm looking at.
Sam Dyer having a good run out here tonight. Started 26th on the board. Was the only driver not to take a qualifying effort out here this evening. Up to a 10th place running position. Some of that through a pit strategy. Some of that through speed. Up 16 positions from his starting spot out here. Tonight we saw him make his first start last week in the All-American Racing League at Sonoma. And I think Sonoma was probably a night that he wanted to forget, but showing more speed out here tonight in that 31.
Sometimes it's just a night that you like to forget. And then you come to a track like Charlotte. Charlotte's a really great track to kind of turn things around. I've always loved coming to this track, whether you've got the momentum, whether you don't have the momentum, whether you're feeling good about your season or you're not. This just feels like a place that always feels good to race on.
And it always brings the cars very close together, especially on the exits of the corner. These drivers able to use multiple lines out here this evening, as we've seen passes on the inside, passes on the outside, and sometimes passes in the middle, depending on what part of the field you're looking at. On board with Alex Fuller right now, the driver out of Iowa, currently runs in 16th place, down 6 spots from his qualifying.
So take a look at this, Tom. Do you see how fast the Scooby-Doo machine is circulating right now? Alex Fuller goes off sequence and decided to take 4 tires halfway through the stage. Pit on lap 62. It was a 16-second stop. Look how much faster the 45 car is compared to the entire field right now. He'll be closing in on Ryan Rose and Jamie Walker before too long, making his way through the field at this point. We'll see if he has enough time to get there, but this could be a play for stage points. He is going to lose out on a set of tires moving forward, assuming he decides to take another set at the end of stage 2.
He was about a second faster than the race leaders in front of him. Fastest car on track right now, Alex Fuller, last time by with the advantage of those 4 tires. How long does that last, and how did the leaders answer that call? As second place, Joshua Kanata under fire from Mark Arthur. Matthew Semple now in the exit of turn number 2.
Let's see if we can't pull up Jamie Walker versus Alex Fuller. There's the gap right there for the effective race lead post-sequence right here. The 45's got to make up about an entire corner, though he does have the new tires, and there is over 10 laps to go before the end of the stage. I think he'll have enough to get there.
Larry Bell comes on pit road for service with 13 laps to go in the stage. Cody Gibson, Joshua Kanata, Mark Arthur, they, as they have been, they stay out on track. Christopher Norris is going to be coming on to pit road this time by from the 14th place running position.
And it looks like Cody Gibson down from the race lead. He's going to be pitting behind the lap down car. They get onto pit road nice and easy. Josh Kanata, Mark Arthur stay out on track. Matt Semple stays out on track. So Cody Gibson going to be the lead car of this group right here. Hands over the lead to Joshua Kanata. He's going to get his first lap led on the evening and may very well pull it down. We see Jamie Walker just behind, driver who's already made his pit stop fuel only about halfway through stage 2.
The battle for first and second place, you got to look at Joshua Kanata and Mark Arthur running about 4th. Actually, Mark Arthur just hit pit road. That's going to put second place to Matthew Semple, who is on track about 3 seconds behind Joshua Kanata. So all these cars that you see behind the 16, the 20, the 78, all these drivers a lap down looking to get their lap back have already made their competitive service for the stage, and they can run to the finish. The 16 cannot.
Kanata still circulating and being pressured from the 20 of Jamie Walker, who is going to look to the inside. This is to get Jamie Walker back on the lead lap as they run. This is not for position, though. Jamie Walker would be the effective leader on the exit of the sequence. He does overtake Cody Gibson, who falls down the running order. But look at this now. That Scooby-Doo machine, we were just talking about him a couple of laps ago. Alex Fuller to the inside of Ryan Rose, and now he's got Jamie Walker in his sights. That is the effective battle for the stage win.
Race leader Joshua Kanata coming on to pit road as Jamie Walker, Alex Fuller, they're still battling under green flag conditions here, working lap number 76 of 160 of the Christmas Chaos. 160, Alex Fuller to the outside and makes a pass on the 20 of Jamie Walker.
Alex Fuller in the 45.
No tires.
Yeah, Jamie took no tires. Most drivers did not take any tires, as a matter of fact, under the halfway point of this stage. Alex Fuller, one of, if not the only driver to have elected to take tires partway through this stage. Now, whether he saved tires at the beginning of the stage maybe to make it count, or maybe he's just giving up the set to get some stage points, it's certainly going to work, but you gotta wonder how it's going to affect his race further on.
That temporarily passes the race lead over to the 31 of Sam Dyer. As the race leader right now, Alex Fuller currently runs in third. We do expect Alex Fuller to take the race lead. He's opened up about a second and a half over Jamie Walker and a little bit more over Ryan Rose as they run right now. But Sam Dyer, the current race leader, actually going to get turned on the exit turn number 4.
Fantastic save from the 31 of Sam Dyer. Somebody bring this man a medal to keep that out of the wall, to keep it out of traffic, pull it down on pit road after getting tagged by John Perkins, excuse me. Keeps that Mustang pointed, works the throttle just right, rolls it on a pit road. That was incredible.
I tell you what, Arie, there's a lot that could have gone wrong there in that moment. I think that probably went as well as it possibly could have for the 31. He's still not a happy driver.
Still not a happy driver, but it was a fantastic show of skill right there. I'm glad we were able to catch it live, and that completes our pit sequence for stage number 2, which puts Alex Fuller, driver of the Scooby-Doo machine, in the 45 into P1. Gonna make his way around the lap down vehicle. He's got almost a 2-second lead over Jamie Walker, a little bit further back, and 7 laps to go to the end of stage 2.
A stage win in sight for Alex Fuller in the Scooby-Doo machine that I know you love so much out here on the All-American Racing League broadcast every single Saturday night. We see Alex out here, and believe, correct me if I'm wrong, this may be Alex's first stage win if he's able to hang on to it.
It will indeed. Alex has been getting progressively better and better week in and week out, shown some flashes, had some good runs. Still looking for that first stage win, and it looks like tonight might just be the night for driver 45. And yes, indeed, I do love that Scooby-Doo machine. Battle further back, Ryan Rose. I don't think we would have expected, Tom, Ryan Rose to get up here and compete with Jamie.
Yeah, Ryan Rose. Looks like he also took no tires, but he did hit a lap later than Jamie Walker. Now, when both drivers take no tires, you got to wonder if that really matters. A lot of it could matter depending on where they come out in traffic. Perhaps Jamie was tucked up in a little bit more traffic on his exit of pit road than the 78 was. All that has an effect on how this stage ends.
That it does, and given we know how good Jamie was feeling about his tire conservation in stage 1, oh, sideways for Ryan Rose. I was just going to mention the fact that, you know, Jamie seems so good on his tires to see another driver, in this case Ryan Rose, be right there with him on the same tire strategy this far into a run. That tells me that Ryan Rose might have something before it's all said and done tonight.
He very well, and another driver who might have something for a fourth place stage finish out here tonight is Mark Arthur, the driver out of Roanoke, Virginia. He's actually going to give a little love tap, 1, 2, maybe 3, to the back of the 38 of Christopher Norris. If I'm Christopher Norris, I didn't exactly love that, and we'll see the response down the backstretch.
Certainly didn't. Mark Arthur not fancying trying another line. They made contact on corner entry as well. Mark Arthur going to bully his way through up into P4, moving Christopher Norris down to P5 right now. We'll see what the 38 car can do given the circumstance, but it looks like this battle might be all done and away with. As he peeks a nose down to the inside. He does clip the 12. He lets off of the gas. I think that was Christopher Norris telling the 12 car, hey, I'm not happy with how you're racing me. Him getting out of the gas tells me that he's not trying to wreck him. He's just trying to let him know. As they continue to battle, they bring Cody Gibson back into the picture right here. Cody Gibson, who led a lot of stage 2 and then pit very late. No tires for Gibson either, but he is going to start to make his way back up through these positions, move the 7 car up to P5.
Cody Gibson takes advantage of that mess happening in front of him and finds himself into a top 5 running position. All while this is all happening, Alex Fuller has opened up about a 3.5 second gap to second place Jamie Walker, about 4.5 seconds to third place Ryan Rose, Mark Arthur, Cody Gibson. That's the top 5 as they run right now on the backstretch here. Taking a look at Gabriel Ngoli, the last car for stage points right now. He's given a good battle with the 34 of John Perkins.
John Perkins, who was the driver who just clipped Sam Dyer with that incredible save earlier on, now looking to score the final stage point before we get to the end of stage 2 here. We are indeed on the final lap of stage 2 as the race leader makes his way into turn 3 for the final time, and for the very first time in the All-American Racing League, the stage winner is driver 45, Alex Fuller, gonna secure 10 points with the offset tire strategy here in stage number 2. As we continue to watch the battle for the final stage point out of turn 4, John Perkins gonna have enough to hold on and put that Loves machine in the final stage point position as the caution flies.
All right, 2 stages done, 2 stages out of the way, and 2 different stage winners out here tonight. Kind of a surprise winner on stage number 2 with Alex Fuller with a little bit of differing tire strategy. How does that set him up for maybe a tire disadvantage in stage number 3? Stage number 3 going to be 85 laps, so got to think these drivers got to pit at least twice.
Well, I tell you what, as soon as these drivers are done making their pit stop here at the conclusion of stage 2, we'll see if we can't dial up driver 45 Alex Fuller, and we'll ask him what his tire situation is looking like moving forward. And if he put himself at a disadvantage, was it strictly for the stage points, or could it potentially have been by accident? That is certainly something that can happen and does happen very frequently with these drivers on the iRacing Sim. The Classic didn't turn the tires off.
24 of the 26 drivers still running out on track out here tonight. Jackson West, Nolan Mills, the 2 early retirees from tonight's event, but expect to see the entire field come up and down pit road and get 4 fresh Goodyears to begin stage number 3, an 85-lap run to the finish.
Pit road's open, this time by driver the 45 is going to lead the entire field down on pit road. At this point, the sun has fully set and the floodlights are bright across the Charlotte Motor Speedway. A couple of lap down drivers going to stay out, take a wave around as the entire field snakes their way down pit road. Right here we can see the damaged cars of Nolan Mills, and looks like the 76 of Jackson West already here. Everyone pulling in. All right, we've got an answer, Tom. Alex Fuller, fuel only.
Okay.
Fuel only, so he is going to bite the bullet at the start of stage 3.
It's an interesting strategy call. You got to wonder, you know, if you run 10 laps here, 12 laps, you get a caution flag, an untimely caution flag. Does that allow him to come back down pit road and get back on the same strategy with everybody? So we're going to have to find out. And I think Arie's got the 45, and he'll be the one to give us an answer.
That he will. Winner of stage 2, Alex Fuller in the Scooby-Doo machine. Now, we're trying to keep track of everything that's going on with your race here, Alex, but first things first, you got it done in stage 2 with that offset tire strategy. Was it intentional to take that set of tires in stage 2 for the stage points, or was this something else?
No, I just kind of passed them up. I thought a lot of people were going to save, and I didn't have them check going in pit road, but, you know, halfway down, I'm like, let's just try to get the stage points, and I don't know, been a rough one for stage points. Felt like it was 10 gimme points.
Well, I mean, hey, it certainly worked out for you getting those 10 stage points, and you got to take advantage of those opportunities when they present themselves. If I'm not mistaken, you're working on fuel only right now, though. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm hoping for a quick caution.
All right, well, we'll see if it flies your way. Good luck the rest of the race, and congratulations on stage 2.
Appreciate it, guys.
For the first time tonight, we're going to see the race leader elect to take the outside on the restart here to begin stage number 3 with, so he's going to have, is it going to be about 22 lap older tires than these other drivers?
Just about.
Yeah.
I
So
think
I don't
it
hate
was,
that
yeah.
starting up on the outside.
Yeah, I think starting up on the outside is going to have to be the play. If you're the 45 of Alex Fuller, I think if you're on the inside on those old tires, it's going to go real bad. But I know one thing's for sure. If you're Ryan Rose and you're the first car behind that 45 heading into turn 1, you are feeling very anxious right now.
You certainly are, and you're just hoping that the 45 doesn't have any wheel spin on the restart here. But Alex Fuller does control the restart, and he can kind of lean into the gas and go when he wants to go. And as the race leader, that's going to give him an advantage that will kind of offset, at least for the first lap or two, the tire disadvantage.
Time to find out. Pace car is off, and into the restart zone we go. Field in the hands of Alex Fuller on the outside. He's going to get into the gas. No wheel spin for the race leader. Gets a good jump. Jamie Walker, though, he's got the grip, and he's looking for the race lead on the inside.
Jamie Walker down to the inside. Actually, Brian Zimmerman, Ryan Rose, they're going to go 3 wide for second place now. Alex Fuller's going to lose a couple of spots in turn 1 on this restart. Christopher Norris going to grab a spot as well, as looks like the top 3 is going to settle out. Battle for 4th right now, Christopher Norris and Alex Fuller as they...
By the end of lap 1, Alex Fuller is going to have dropped just about 5 positions as Kanata noses ahead at the line. Alex Fuller now in survival mode on the oldest tires in the entire field to get himself back on tire sequence. We'll see how well that 45 car can hold on here, having scored those stage points. We've got a bit of a kerfuffle going on further back in the pack, but a little closer to where we're looking. It's Matt Semple now making his way back up into the top 10, looking to the inside of John Perkins. He gets there, and issues for, I couldn't tell who that was. Gabriel Ngoli got sideways in turn 4.
He's going to lose multiple positions as he's down to 12th place as they run right now. Cody Gibson, Tanner Marr directly behind him. Tanner Marr a couple of laps down. But issues for the number 55. He's going to carry on. Don't see any significant damage or notable damage on there for that number 55. We'll take a closer look as he's going into turn number 3 here, and he's going to get maybe a little... Oh, he's definitely going to get help from the 30.
That he does. Mark Arthur gets in there. Wow, I can't believe he saved that. He was about 45 degrees sideways.
That was a great job to keep it off the wall, because that could have been very big on this restart. Could have been very similar to what we saw at the beginning of stage number 3, but now we got a battle for the race lead. Ryan Rose, for the first time tonight, tries to take the lead from Jamie Walker, and he's going to do so on the exit turn number 4. New race leader, give a lap led to the 78.
I tell you what, Tom, I think I might be seeing two different things right here that kind of tie together. We know Jamie Walker's not afraid to give up the race lead to save those tires. Now, on the other hand, we know how good Ryan Rose was on tires on that last long run. He got to the back of Jamie Walker at the end of that run, but he couldn't do anything with how old the tires were. Could this be Ryan Rose saying, hey, we're about even on tires, why don't I have the track position and make you fight for it?
I like the thought process there. And it goes back to what we were talking about in stage number 1 with the possibility of fuel saving. And sometimes you have to give up track position. Track position's so important, and it's so hard to get back once you lose it. And sometimes just being in front of the other car, even if they are just a smidge faster than you, you'll be able to hang on to the lead or to that position. But new race leader Ryan Rose in front of the 20. Jamie Walker taking a look at the battle for third place right now with the 38, giving pressure to the 22 of Brian Zimmerman, and he's going to be able to take third place running position.
Textbook pass through 3 and 4 by Christopher Norris, hooking that painted line down by the apron. This brings Matt Semple into the picture now, backed up into the top 5 for the first time since that big incident at the start of stage 2. That 8 car is going to look to get a run down the backstretch on Zimmerman. He's going to look to the inside. He's going to dive it deep into turn 3. Zimmerman eases out and lets him get the pass done. A little further back, Cody Gibson in the 7 car starting to make his way back up through the field after having a very long pit stop under yellow. I'm not entirely sure what happened there, Tom, but Cody Gibson is showing a minute and a half on pit road under caution.
He certainly is, with a minute 24 pit service time. I don't know if that is entirely accurate though, considering that he is running 10th, and I mean, unless he's made up 12 spots in the restart, which I mean, with the speed that we've seen out of Cody Gibson, already a winner in the All-American race,
I was going to say
a possibility.
It is Cody Gibson. He's been on a tear as of this calendar year, I would say, more than anything across multiple leagues. So wouldn't surprise me, but either way, that 7 car, he's in the top 10 now, and that's what matters as he continues to set his sights a little further up. Speaking of a little further up, Joshua Kanata and John Perkins, they're on an island right here in the middle of the top 10. Battle for P6 on the board. That 16 car has been up and down, arguably more than any other driver all night. Now looking to hold on inside of the top 10. John Perkins, he's a driver who's been, I feel like, in the picture all night long, just slowly making his way more and more into the fold.
All right. So strategy call answered. Alex Fuller comes down onto pit road just about 15 laps into the stage, a little bit less than that. Going to come down, and I imagine he's going to take 4 fresh tires here.
So Alex Fuller,
that's going to give him 60 laps to go. He still has at least one more pit stop to make, but everybody else is going to have 2 by my math.
He's making his first of 2. Everyone else still has to. I think I would assume, unless there's some fuel saving involved. But I tell you what, Tom, Alex Fuller is now on about as opposite a strategy from the rest of the field as you possibly can be. Having pit in the middle of stage 2, effectively stayed out at the end of stage 2, now pitting early on in stage 3 right here. He's going to have new tires when everyone else's tires are at their worst, and when everyone else pits, he'll be on the worst tires. And kind of watching that accordion effect happen throughout the remainder of stage 3 right here should be pretty interesting.
It's a risky call with a high payoff if it works. We saw it work at the end of stage number 2. Will it work at the end of the race? I think a lot of drivers may. I don't know that it's really going to work at the end of stage number 3 because you're going to have drivers, I would imagine, on their pit stop here in 20-25 laps or so, that they're all going to come down for 4 fresh tires. But who knows? I mean, that's why we're up here and they're down there. They know what their car's doing.
That they do, and I think in Alex Fuller's case, the best case scenario that he could get is for a caution to come out at the right part of his sequence. I think given he lost the track position at the start of the stage right here, that puts him behind the 8 ball to begin with, and all of these drivers are working on a strategy that's from the drop of the green flag in stage 3. They'll have the optimal strategy picked out for themselves, so we'll see how it goes. We'll see if we stay green. We still see if we get a yellow at any point here as we watch Jamie Walker continue to follow Ryan Rose up in the top 2. Cody Gibson, he's making his way forward, and next in line, it's Josh Kanata, who's actually lost a couple spots since we last were on board with that 16. Gibson thinks about a move to the inside, decides better. I think he really likes that outside to give that move up.
Yeah, Cody Gibson, you heard him get out of the throttle on the exit of turn number 2 there and lose the momentum. He's going to have to set himself up for an entry to turn number 1. Looks like Josh Kanata is going to protect the outside lane. Josh Kanata is aware that Cody Gibson prefers the outside, and now Cody has the opportunity to take the outside lane here on the 16. We're going to see another run from the 7 down the backstretch. This time he does not get out of the gas.
No, he doesn't. He's going to take a huge run down into turn 3. Kanata doesn't fight it. Knows that 7 car is faster. He's going to get the run through turns 3 and 4 right here. He knows he's faster, but if he's going to go that slow, he might as well make the run on the outside. Something like that's probably going through Kanata's head right now as Gibson looks to set his sights on Gabriel Goli, the next car up in P8.
Gabriel Goli almost wrecked and on the hauler about 15 laps ago at the beginning of stage number 3. Was able to keep that 55 moving in the right direction and in one piece, and currently runs in the 8th place running position. Started 13th out here tonight. Good run for the 55.
It has been a good run indeed for Goli in the 55. A little bit further back, battles continuing on throughout the field. This is battle for P11. Zachary Wake trying to work over Chris Carroll in the 51. Down into turn number 1 we go. That 39 staying planted on the inside, but that outside line is going to have the momentum all the way down the back straightaway. Move Carroll up to P11 as Wake has no choice but to dive back in line.
One thing that I'm taking a look at here, Ari, so we just saw Alex Fuller come down on pit road, get his 4 fresh tires. One thing that I don't think we really took into account is that a lot of these race leaders still have pretty good tires on their cars. Last time by, he was actually only about a 10th faster than the race leader, so we're not seeing that tire differential that we saw at the end of stage number 2.
Yeah, at the end of stage 2, we were looking at more of a 20 to 25 lap tire difference, whereas here it's kind of more in the 12 to 15.
Yeah.
So a lot less, and I'll be curious to see how that plays out over the course of the run, but Alex Fuller's certainly going to need a caution to fly his way at the right time to kind of course correct the strategy that has happened, though at the end of the day, you can't argue with 10 stage points in a stage win.
You certainly can. Let's take a quick look at where the 45 is running in relationship to the race leader. You see the 45 entering turn number 1, the purple dot, and Ryan Rose, the white dot on the exit of turn number 4 at about a 10th a lap. He's got a long way to go before he has that possibility of a caution coming out at the right moment. But Chris Carroll gets passed by Zachary Wake for the 11th place running position. And Josh Kanata, as we have talked about all night long, has been up and down, currently back in 10th.
That he is. Cody Gibson has caught the rear end of that Coca-Cola Ford Mustang. He's going to have to get out of the gas big time out of turn 2 right there as the door is shut by Goli in the 55, but Gibson is looking to pick up some more pieces from that long pit stop he had entering stage 3 right here. That Cheetos machine seems pretty under control, whereas Goli is bouncing off of the wall. time and time again. We're going to move that 7 car up one more position, give him P8 as he sets sights ahead on John Perkins.
We're keeping a very close eye on the battle for the race lead, so you don't have to. Ryan Rose still the race leader with just about 3/10 to Jamie Walker, as that lead has kind of stabilized. Jamie Walker a little bit faster last time by. See what that 20 does. We've seen the tire strategy out of the 20 all night long. What does he do at the end of his run? Now they're running about 25 laps now on tires, so we got to think we're going to be seeing fuel stops in the next 8 to 10 laps.
I would imagine so. We'll be getting somewhat close to the window. I wonder if we're going to start to see any level of saving to try and make this third and final stage go any certain way for these drivers. More than anything, though, as these laps tick by, I'm really curious to see if Jamie Walker can do anything with the 78, or if Ryan Rose kind of played a master hand there, knowing they were so even on their tires, it was going to come down to who got the track position.
And you could see it right there, 4 1/1000ths of a second on lap 111, 3 1/1000ths of a second on lap 110. The difference between Ryan Rose and Jamie Walker. We'll take a look at lap 112 as they come across here to complete this lap as we approach the conclusion of tonight's race. That time by Ryan Rose gonna be a little bit slower, 5 100ths of a second slower for Ryan Rose.
Jamie Walker can close in. He might be a little faster, but catching a driver and passing a driver are, of course, two entirely different things. We've said it time and time again, especially when these tires are as old as they are. You've got to have quite something to make a pass work, or you've got to wait for the right slip up at the right time. And I just don't know if we're going to see the slip up that Jamie needs out of Ryan Rose.
Ryan Rose having a solid night out here tonight so far, as he has led some laps throughout the course of tonight's event. And he's been kind of a driver throughout the course of the season, Arie, as now the battle for the race lead has started to close a little bit. The 78 has been one of those drivers that we've talked about every single week here on the Cyber Thunder Broadcast Network, just hasn't found victory lane yet.
Absolutely, and I would even say for every race that Jamie Walker has been here, it's been the same. These are two drivers that should finish the season with multiple wins. They've got the talent to do so. It's pretty surprising that neither have gotten their first now 6 races into the season here. It's shaping up like one of these two are going to punch their ticket and make it 6 for 6 to start out the season and to start out the record books here in the All-American Racing League.
You can see Jamie Walker taking a little bit of a lower line through 3 and 4. I like that lower line for the 20. Now, once you get there, you're going to want to be up on the outside line to carry the momentum and try to make the pass. And Jamie Walker is all over the back of the 78. There is no more saving out of the 20, at least for right now.
No, there isn't, and we saw both drivers take the outside line into turn 1. He's close enough now that Ryan Rose has to drive defensively, and that means entering a little bit higher up. Don't let Jamie Walker poke a nose on the outside line. If he's going to get a run down a straightaway, you give him the inside and do what you can with that outer line. He's going to get close. He might stick a nose on the outside. Does he get there before the corner? No, he doesn't. The door is shut, and Rose enters low, which is kind of surprising.
Little surprising, but Jamie Walker follows suit. He's going to pull the draft down the backstretch here and see what he's able to do. Last time by, faster for the 20. So advantage to Jamie Walker, as it looks like Jamie's experiencing some sort of technical issue there, but he's going to restabilize and try to take the lead once again. It is a nose length here at the start-finish line, and Jamie Walker again with the run.
Watching from the rear bumper of Ryan Rose in the 78 onboard shot, you can see how Walker kind of gives up time in the center of the corner and gets a fantastic run off. We see him blink out just a little bit, and down the back straightaway, Walker's going to go to the inside. Now, how hard does Ryan Rose fight it on the outside? Jamie Walker drove it in extremely deep. We're going to have a crossover off of turn 4 as Rose looks to the inside with the momentum. Can he pull the side draft?
Ryan Rose looks to be to about his door, and he's going to be to his door on the entry of turn number 1. That's going to allow him to throw the car in there, but I don't think he's going to be able to slide up here. Jamie Walker coming back with the momentum on the outside lane. They're going to be side by side down the backstretch here.
He's going to have to do everything he can to pull that side draft into corner entry right here. Can he slide job Walker? No, he can't. Walker keeps it planted on the outside, doing everything he needs to do. He has to get out of the gas, though, and that allows Rose to even out down the front straightaway. 78 at the line.
Into turn number 1 for the race lead. Ryan Rose now going to be able to clear Jamie Walker, but Jamie Walker going to maybe have the opportunity to do a crossover on the exit of turn number 2. Jamie Walker going to stick the nose back up to the outside on the exit of turn number 2. Not clear yet for the race lead.
I think Ryan Rose liked how far up ahead he was, but wow, Jamie Walker sends it in so incredibly deep, and that's because Ryan Rose is pitting. We thought for a second it was an incredible move from Walker, but Ryan Rose pulls the undercut, and now, Tom, the ball is in Jamie Walker's court. What does he do?
Jamie Walker answer the call from that? And anytime you're battling like that, Arie, the car on the inside, especially if they don't have a car directly behind them within a second or two, has a distinct advantage, especially if you're within a pit window like we are here, and Jamie Walker is going to stay out on track another lap. Ryan Rose able to come down, and well, we can estimate that he'll be the race leader with the short pit.
Well, I tell you what, the longer Jamie Walker stays out, the less fuel he's going to have to save for that final stint right there. Now that I'm looking at the lap count here, Tom, Ryan Rose puts himself in a position where he's got to go just about 40 laps to the end on a tank of fuel. That seems like a long way to try and go. I think he might have to save some fuel. That might not have been the greatest call for Rose.
A lot of it could be him trying to drag down Jamie Walker, and Jamie just didn't answer that call, but we'll see how it plays out. And let's not forget, these drivers have 3 attempts at a green-white checkered out here, so you know, you also need to build that in.
You certainly do. As we watch Josh Kanata here, driver running in P5, he's going to get passed up by the fresh tires. No,
yeah,
it is
Rose,
not.
That is not what he wanted. He caught Joshua Kanata at probably the worst possible spot here on the exit of turn number 2. But now Jamie Walker down onto pit road here with about 36 laps to go.
All right, here we go. They'll be close enough on laps that they'll be in a pretty similar boat fuel-wise regardless. The 30 car of Matthew Pavlik comes down on this same lap as well. The race lead has been handed over to Matt Semple in the 8 car, winner at Auto Club earlier this season, as Jamie Walker pulls into his pits, nearly slides the box, does get it stopped in time, going to get those tires swapped out, and will be oh so curious as to this track map right here, as Ryan Rose is already in the tri-oval, and he is going to make a significant margin on Jamie Walker with a couple laps right there. However, for the rest of the race, this is now going to swing Jamie's way, having a couple laps better tires.
At what point, though, Arie, does the tire advantage of having 2 lap better tires kind of negate itself? Because now Jamie Walker has to close he has to close about a 4.5, maybe 5-second gap to the driver that he's racing, Ryan Rose. So you push a little bit more, that kind of takes away that advantage.
It certainly does, as we see Chris Carroll get onto pit road extremely hot right there. Everybody and their mother coming down on pit road except Larry Bell is going to be the sole driver staying out to lead a lap this time by driver 43. To answer your question there, Tom, I think it's going to come down to Ryan Rose doing everything he can to make that chase last as long as possible. The longer it takes Jamie to catch up to your rear bumper, the older the tires are going to be, and of course the harder a pass is going to become. Separate from that, we hear Larry Bell saving a little bit of fuel right here, trying to put himself into a very comfortable window. He goes 1 lap longer than most anyone else was able to go. You've got to figure that's got him feeling pretty good for that final run right there. He's going to have some of the best tires out on track, is Larry Bell. That gives Rob Higgs the race lead, as he does not come down on pit road this time by. The 80 car is going to lead a lap.
Give a lap led to Ryan Rose. We have a caution on the speedway. Issues for Mark Arthur on lap 126. Under green flag pit stops here. Damage to the left front of the 12. And oh boy, Arie, this flips it on its head.
This certainly flips it on its head. Oh boy.
Mark Arthur on the apron. Can't tell if he is entering or exiting. Looks like he is exiting pit road here, and yes, he is. He's just going to get sideways, very similar to what we saw Stoney Benfield do earlier tonight.
We even see
And it also
Carroll
looks like
sideways.
and Mark Arthur saying, "Oh no." Hard hit between the 51 and the 12.
That'll do it. I tell you what. Can we get a shot from on board the second car in line right here? I would love to see this.
On board with Chris Carroll. He's fighting the same conditions that Mark Arthur is. I think he would have been okay. I don't think he would have hit anything if it wasn't for the 12 bouncing off the inside wall there.
Yeah, that's that has got to be one of the most interesting incident cautions I have ever seen. 2 drivers in a row. 2 drivers known for being very quick as well, coming off a pit road, just a little too quick that time. I tell you what, I'm a little surprised that Rob Higgs has had enough fuel to coast around here under yellow after staying out as long as he did. He is the race leader as he pulls the field down right here. A lot of the drivers just made their pit stop. With how few tire sets they are, you gotta wonder if they're gonna come down or not. Ryan Rose stays out. Jamie Walker comes down.
All right, so now we got our first split strategy out here, and what this does, assuming that Jamie may just be coming down here for fuel.
That's true.
I gotta imagine he's just coming down here for fuel. If he takes tires, he's gonna be a set short of Ryan Rose if we do get a green white checkered.
Well, I tell you what,
on the 20.
if anyone was going to top off fuel, I would have thought it would have been Ryan Rose, who was one of the first drivers to pit.
Yeah.
And sure enough, it's fuel only for Jamie Walker. I would imagine it's going to be the same. Yeah, Matt Semple, fuel only. Brian Zimmerman, fuel only. Sam Dyer, John Perkins, whole bunch of drivers taking fuel only. We do get some forced tires out of Rob Higgs, out of Zachary Wake. Alex Fuller is back on sequence now, so that was helpful for the 45. Gabriel Ngoli takes 4 tires as well back there. Shane Johnson, another name, taking 4 tires. So how this has worked out here, Tom, we've got a top 5 that consists of Ryan Rose, Christopher Norris, Joshua Kanata, Matthew Pavlik, and Larry Bell. Out of that group, Larry Bell is going to be sitting the best on fuel, having pit right before that yellow flag, or right as that yellow flag came out under green. So I would imagine Larry's sitting pretty good on fuel, but Ryan Rose, he last pit on lap 120 to everyone else's 128 just about.
Ryan Rose currently the race leader as they run right now underneath the caution flag. 4th caution out here tonight at Charlotte Motor Speedway as the drivers behind the iRacing.com pace car. And, well, it's going to be fun to see how this plays out. Christopher Norris going to be restarting on the outside, presumably, on this restart here. Joshua Kanata, who has been up and down, who has probably passed the most cars out here tonight, going to be 3rd. 4th place is going to be Matthew Pavlik. Had a solid run out here tonight, but we haven't said his name too much.
No, we haven't. He had a good qualifying run. He's kept himself up towards the top 10 the entire night. Now he finds himself restarting in P4 on the outside right there, having stayed out on this round right here. Another thing I'm noticing here, Tom, is for the very first time tonight, that 20 car is in some semblance of traffic.
And that certainly could play an effect on how this restart goes for the 20. Considering that he just came down. Didn't take tires, just fuel only for Jamie Walker on this most recent caution. I'm excited to see how this one plays out here as the field gets in line with where they should be. The lights are out on the pace car. We're about to go back green flag racing.
For the first time tonight, we've got the 38 car of Christopher Norris on the front row. Winner 1 week ago in Sonoma, looking to show his oval skills out here tonight. Lights are out, and that pace car is getting ready to pull down. The field is in the hands of Ryan Rose in the 78 once more, looking for his first career win here in the All-American Racing League. As we approach that restart zone, the green flag is ready to fly. It's going to be lap 130 out of 160.
Ryan Rose comes up through the gearboxes, and he has a great restart. Christopher Norris under pressure from Joshua Kanata. Battle for 2nd place. 4th place has settled out with Matthew Pavlik, but here comes Jamie Walker. What does Jamie do? Jamie has to make advantage, or take advantage of this early restart here and try to gain positions while he can, because as these laps go along, the tires are going to go to the advantage of the drivers that just came down a couple of laps ago. And it looks like the top three has settled out. Battle for the race lead. Joshua Kanata to the outside of Rose.
I really like what I'm seeing out of the 16 of Kanata. He took tires at the same time that Jamie Walker took his tires. Though he didn't splash on fuel right there, the caution did provide a good opportunity to save some fuel, and now he is in control of this race out front of the entire pack. The 16 has just put himself in pretty good position to have a shot in the final 29 laps.
Joshua Kanata to the race lead for the first time out here tonight, followed by Christopher Norris in the 38. Ryan Rose has fallen back to third place as they run. Matthew Pavlik currently in the top 5, losing a position or 2 as they run. But new race leader out here tonight, and that is the driver with the Grinch on the side of his car, Joshua Kanata.
That it is, and the top 2 are teammates. Something worth noting right here. Kanata and Norris, they do race together in the same call. They are effectively teammates, so they will be sharing information back and forth as they see that bright orange 20 car of Jamie Walker now up into third place in their rearview mirror and chasing them down.
Christopher Norris still trying to hang on to second place while also playing offense on possibly taking the race lead as they run right now. Side-by-side battle back for about the 5th place running position. Matt Semple and Matthew Pavlik back here. A little bit of contact on the entry to turn number 3. Ryan Rose falls back to their clutches here. So Ryan Rose here started as the race leader. What do you feel about this here, Arie? He's lost a couple of spots here on this restart.
I feel like Ryan Rose needed anything but a caution to come out when it did, because he's the car on the oldest tires in the field right now, having been the first car to come down on that green flag sequence. Everyone got brought up to his rear bumper. That completely negated his undercut, the laps ahead of everyone else that he had pit. That was what he needed, that cushion right there, and now he is just holding on for his life. A tale of 2 races really for the 78, who at one point looked like he could have very well been the favorite.
Absolutely. Matt Semple now puts pressure on the 78 as they go down into turn number 1. He's going to climb all the way up to the back bumper of the 78. That's going to unsettle the 78 with the air on the back spoiler of Ryan Rose. Alex Fuller now pokes his nose up to the outside and says, hey, you know what, I want to run up in the top 5. He's going to jump up to the outside. Matt Semple's in danger of losing 2 or 3 spots here, as now there's multiple cars lined up on the outside.
That there is. Matt Semple chose the wrong lane to try and make a pass on the 78, and I tell you what, a driver who was very much helped by that yellow flag is the 45 of Alex Fuller in that Scooby-Doo machine. He is now back into the top 5 for the first time since he won stage number 2 on that off sequence. This could be circling around perfectly for Fuller.
Matt Semple loose down in turn number 1. He's going to lose multiple positions as now he's back down into 10th place and possibly losing more. He's got Sam Dyer lined up. He's got Larry Bell lined up. He's got Gabriel Ngoli lined up to take advantage of his moment down in turn number 1. Battle for the race lead. You're taking a look at it right now, about 2, maybe 3 car lengths as they exit turn number 2. Joshua Kanata still holding Christopher Norris at bay on the exit of turn number 2 at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Jamie Walker holding on in P3. He's not putting pressure on the top 2 right now. This seems very reminiscent of earlier on in the race. Jamie Walker has fancied saving his tires at the start of every single run. We are getting down into crunch time now, 22 laps remaining, but I don't expect to see that 20 car of Walker really start to floor it and put the pressure on until we get to about 15 laps to go. I've got that circled myself about halfway through this run right here for that 20 car to start putting the pressure on these top 2.
Keep an eye on that 20, as he has been one of the best long run cars out here tonight. When does he decide to push that loud pedal? You said about 20 to go, as we have about that to go right now. And Matthew Pavlik is going to take a look down to the inside of Matthew Semple. Ryan Rose continues to bleed positions out here tonight from the restart and back down to the 8th place running position.
Battles going on all throughout the top 10 right now as we continue to watch Matt Semple try and make his way back up right here. Ryan Rose continuing to fall down position after position. That's Larry Bell to the outside of the 78. A little bit further up, Brian Zimmerman in that 22, very sneakily in the top 5, running in 4th position, ahead of now an equally as sneaky Zachary Wake in that 39, who, by the way, is running in the top 5 late in the race tonight, up 7 spots from where he started. Looking to put pressure on that 22, looking to bring Alex Fuller with him as well, and Jamie Walker's not that far ahead right now.
The Daytona winner trying to take away 4th place from Brian Zimmerman as they run right now, but Alex Fuller in the mirror of the 39, and he is not going anywhere anytime soon in terms of going away. He may actually be putting a battle for a top 5 running position here on the outside of the 39 of Zachary Wake. He's going to take a look down to the inside on the backstretch here. He's got to run. Does he take it into turn number 3? Yes, he does. They're going to enter into turn number 3 side by side.
Extremely aggressive move from Fuller in the 45 to get down to the inside. He does it. He keeps that car planted through 3 and 4. He's going to get a little bit of a draft down the front straightaway as he looks to retake P5 away from Zachary Wake, dive it down into turn 1. He's going to have the clearance to slide up right there. He's going to keep it planted on that line, follow in the tire tracks of the 22. Alex Fuller now looking to get further up in the top 5.
This time by, we're going to see 17 laps to go out here tonight in the Christmas Chaos 160, 240 miles of racing, and it all comes down to the final closing laps out here tonight in the All-American Racing League. Alex Fuller, the driver on the move, as he now sets his sights and his crosshairs on the 22 of Brian Zimmerman. Going to get into the outside wall for the 45, but holds his position.
Alex Fuller tried to make a late move to the outside of the 22. That got his car out of control and up into the outside wall. I'm surprised he maintained as much momentum as he did. That could have been so much worse for the Scooby-Doo machine, but he does keep it going. He's keeping in pursuit of the 22. He's actually pushing Zimmerman closer to the rear end of Walker, who is starting to close in on the rear bumper of Norris.
On board with the 45 down into turn number 1, and the battle for the race lead is starting to heat up just even the tiniest a bit. Joshua Kanata holds steady over Christopher Norris as they run right now, but a battle for the 4th place running position as they come along right now. The driver in the middle that we're not talking about right now is Jamie Walker, and Jamie has been the best on long runs out here tonight. Will he go forwards or will he go backwards in the closing 15 laps out here tonight?
One thing we know for sure, and that is Alex Fuller has finally gotten that nose on the outside of Zimmerman. We have seen that 45 machine work that high line the entire night, not fancying the inside line. He is driving the wheels off that thing. He's going to get around Brian Zimmerman, move the 45 up to P4 through turns 3 and 4 at the line. It's going to be 14 laps to go.
Last time by, just over a tenth better for the 45 of Alex Fuller. Now he's got a little bit of clean track. What does he do in terms of trying to chase down the race leaders of Kanata, Norris, and Walker directly in front of him for a podium finish out here tonight? The Scooby-Doo machine is on the move here with 14 laps to go.
Why don't I throw another piece into this puzzle for the 45? That caution came out, which allowed the 45 to get back on sequence. He took tires under that yellow, which means he's got 3-lap newer tires than the likes of Jamie Walker ahead of him, not to mention the drivers a little further ahead. Compared to Norris, he's got about 4-lap newer tires, and versus Kanata, he's got about 3-lap newer as well. So the 45 is closing in on newer tires. This could get real interesting.
It certainly could. Joshua Kanata looking for his first win of the season. Christopher Norris in second place, looking to go back-to-back wins here in the All-American Racing League. Picked up the win last week at the road course at Sonoma Raceway. Jamie Walker looking to get his first win, and Alex Fuller trying to get his first win as well. So possible to go 6 for 6 on winners out here in the league, and that would certainly shake up the playoff pictures out here, as a win puts you into the playoffs, Arie.
It certainly does. Any one of the top 6 besides the 38 of Norris could make it 6 different winners in 6 races right here. The highest running driver to have already punched their ticket so far. And Norris is kept on the rear bumper of Kanata at about that 1 to 2 car lengths mark for this entire run. It's been pretty impressive how close he's been. But we're riding on board with Jamie Walker, driver out of Minnesota right now, and he's starting to close in. We're under 15 laps to go, and he smells blood in the water.
The issue that the drivers in front of him, of Norris and Kanata, have right now is that when Christopher Norris goes to take a look for the race lead, he doesn't have a second or a second and a half buffer to third place Jamie Walker. If Christopher Norris goes for the race lead, it's going to be a 3-car battle, and it may be a 2-car battle here with the 20 on the outside of the 38 in another lap or two.
It could very well be. We'll see how much Christopher Norris fancies defending for his teammate. Down the back straightaway we go. Jamie Walker starting to get some impressive runs right here, and now he's all the way up to the rear bumper, which means he's got about as much slipstream potential as you're going to get.
And oh, let's not count out the 45 just yet. Alex Fuller staying within camera shot in that Scooby-Doo Chevy Camaro out here tonight, trying to pick up his first win of the season. Got his first stage win out here earlier tonight. And you know what pairs nicely with that is a black and white checkered flag.
Oh, it certainly does. I'm sure the 45 wants nothing more, and he might have an opportunity, especially if these top 3 get a little racier. Another driver I'm seeing making their way up the field further back, that's Gabriel Ngoli in the 55. Another driver who took tires under that most recent yellow. He's currently running in P6 and closing in on these top 5 cars, which are almost nose to tail now as we work 8 laps to go.
Give us 16.5 miles of racing to go out here tonight in the Christmas Chaos 160. Christopher Norris is as close as he's been in the last 10 or 15 laps. Jamie Walker slowly closing in. Alex Fuller slowly closing in. And the top 5, Brian Zimmerman. Oh yeah, the 22. He's now within camera shot as well.
This couldn't be more exciting as we come down to the closing laps. 4 drivers, nose to tail, 4 drivers who have had extremely different races up to this point. It has all led to this 7 laps to go into turn 1. Christopher Norris looks to the inside of teammate Josh Kanata, but the door is going to close once again. Further back, Jamie Walker continues to plan his move from third place, but he's going to have a rear view mirror full of that Scooby-Doo machine on the best tires out of the group.
Jamie Walker under a little bit of fire from the 45 of Alex Fuller, as we're going to see 6 laps to go out here tonight. The top 2 is Joshua Kanata, followed by Christopher Norris. Christopher Norris looks to pick up his first oval win in the All-American Racing League as they come out of turn number 2. Got the win last week at Sonoma, as we've mentioned, out here this evening, trying to go not only 2 wins on the season, but back-to-back, and that would carry the momentum for him into the new year.
Down the front straight we go, and across the line, 5 laps to go. At a stalemate for now. Which driver has the opportunity to make the first move? We've got differing lines for 3 out of the 4 drivers entering turn 1. The last 2 trying to get the run down the back straightaway off of the high line. They're going to do so. That's going to close them all in once more. What can Jamie Walker do in the Home Depot machine running third?
Joshua Kanata has moved up to the outside running lane. I think he sees the 20 coming. Christopher Norris going to get into the wall on the outside.
Jamie Walker
into the wall on the inside. He's going to be on the grass on the front stretch. We stay green. That allows Alex Fuller to get back up to a third place running position with a battle for second right now between him and the 38. Damage on the 38.
He's going to rim ride the outside, maybe cross over to the inside. No, he tucks back in. Does Alex Fuller. Looks for the run on the outside. We know he prefers to run around the wall. We'll have to get another look soon of what happened on the front straightaway there. The 38 plowed the wall, and Walker had to react late, but it was at the worst part of the tri-oval. Sent the 20 car into the wall, and now the 38 under pressure this time should do it through turns 1 and 2, and down the back straightaway. Can Fuller find the momentum? He's going to give a bump to the 38, who closes the door in the nick of time. The 38 doing everything he can to hold on to P2 and fight off the challenge from him and his teammate.
This has allowed Joshua Kanata to open up about a half-second lead over second place, the 38. The 38 with significant right front damage here. The 45 faster. Is he able to get around him here? He's going to have to get around him around in this corner if he wants a shot at the race win.
That he is. He's doing everything he can from the outside line. He knows the 38 wants to slide up. He's going to get a nose there. Even pushes the 38 out of the way just slightly. Now down into turn 3 and 4. Is he far enough alongside to make it stick? It's going to have to happen now. The crossover as the 38 gets into the wall. The 45 looks to the outside one more time. White flag is in the air for Josh Kanata, who, oh, by the way, is a second up the road.
1 lap to go for Joshua Kanata, less than a mile and a half of racing for the 16, who fell all the way back down to 23rd place in the early goings of tonight's race. Looks like he's going to get his first career win in the All-American Racing League as he comes out of turn number 4 at the Christmas Chaos 160 out here. Joshua Kanata, he sets his sights on the checkered flag.
The 16 car is a winner in the All-American Racing League. Josh Kanata at the line as just further back, Alex Fuller gets ahead of Christopher Norris in what was just too little too late for the 45. He does walk away with a podium. Brian Zimmerman nearly closed in, finishing a close P4, and Gabriel Goli rounds out the top 5.
The back half of the top 10 is filled out by Matt Semple. Jamie Walker is going to come home 7th place out here tonight after an off-track excursion on the front stretch. Larry Bell's going to get a top 10 with Matthew Pavlik and Zachary Wake. But I tell you what, Ari, these endings of these races, they're always fun to watch and always unpredictable, as we have another 6x6 first-time winner out here in the All-American Racing League.
We sure do, and it's a name in which we were just waiting to see check that box. Josh Kanata has proven to be a driver worthy of winning a race at various points throughout the season, and finally does so, doing his victory burnouts around the track. While all the drivers start to get sorted and ready for their post-race interviews, let's take an opportunity real quick to jump a little further back in time and revisit the issue with Jamie Walker and Christopher Norris on the front straightaway out of turn number 2. We see the 38 running in P2. He's going to get extremely tight crossing the wake of the 16. That sends that 38 all the way up into the right side wall. That actually gives him significant damage for the rest of the run right here. Jamie Walker has to let up. He decides to yank the wheel to the outside, but oh, the tri-oval is turning right here. The 20 car loses grip. He can't turn in time, and he's hard into the outside wall. That lets the 45 car get through. Jamie Walker takes a ride through the grass at this point, but he's got wheel damage on the front right of that car, so he gets passed up by Brian Zimmerman, Gabriel Goli, and Matt Semple. Jamie Walker comes home P7 in what's gotta be a big heartbreaker.
Absolutely. Jamie Walker, what could have been out here tonight, led a ton of laps out here this evening, but the big winner goes to Joshua Kanata in the number 16, his first win in the All-American Racing League. As well, with 20 laps to go, with 30 laps to go, we didn't know who it was going to be, and it turns out that it is Joshua Kanata in the Grinchmobile out here this evening as we look to gather your top 3 finishers out here tonight from Charlotte Motor Speedway.
All right, and we can go ahead and start with our third place finisher, driver of the 38. And I tell you what, that last run proved to be one of the most entertaining runs that I have seen, one of the most entertaining defensive drives I have seen. Christopher Norris, I know you're teammates with our race winner tonight, Josh Kanata. I have a couple of questions for that last run. Did that wall contact give you proper wheel damage? And on top of that, how hard were you trying to hold on a second versus defending for your teammate?
Yeah, so that wall, yeah, it came out to bite me. I did not mean to do that. Got a little tight, and I went into the wall, so that wasn't great. But yeah, so tonight I was definitely a teammate. I had the win last week. I definitely would have liked the win tonight. I think I had the speed to do it, but I couldn't. I don't know how to pass. That's the thing. I have the speed, but I don't know how to pass. It's an issue since I've been on the sim for 4 years. I still can't figure it out. If you know, let me know. Send me a DM. But anyway, yeah, so definitely had to defend a little bit for Kanata there because I knew Kanata before I joined in the 4 races. Before he was a fast driver, and hey, he deserved one tonight, and he definitely put on a show. And yeah, I was staying behind him, to be honest. I was like, if I get into position to pass him, I'll pass him. But I didn't really get there. I couldn't really set him up in the way I did. I had one chance I tried, and I was like, nah. So I just rode behind him. We were running pretty much equal laps. I was like maybe a hundredth faster, a thousandth faster, but we were chilling. But yeah, I knew the 20 there, Jimmy Walker, when he was coming up, I was like, he's on about the same amount of tires as I was. So I was thinking maybe it would be an opportunity where I'd have to defend off him. But then I think whenever I hit the wall, it like bounced him back or something. So I knew with Alex Fuller having fresher tires, I had to put up a fight. So I wasn't intentionally really blocking. That one time he like hit me square that first time. That was a complete accident. I was tight and it just worked out to be like a block. And then I was just trying to air grief him on the exits. And yeah, I was just trying to keep Kanata in the lead, keep me in second if I could. But hey, Kanata won the race. I finished P3. I think it's a great night.
It absolutely is. I tell you what, you come out here, you win in Sonoma, you followed up with a P2 or a P3, excuse me, and having the teammate win the race. Nonetheless, you got to be feeling pretty good heading into the off couple of weeks before we return in Richmond.
For sure. Holidays gonna be great. Some time off, no more college finals or any of that kind of stuff. And I did end up winning in my finals. So that's always great. But unfortunately, I won't be here for Richmond. I love Richmond. I think that's a track I could circle on my list to finish good at. But unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, I do have a charity race that night to do a sits hour with my father, aka Nick. So we'll be going head to head there and in a Mustang GT3. So gonna take it away from the Mustang Infinity car and change it out with a GT3 at Daytona Road. So that'll be interesting.
Love to see it. Well, I tell you what, congratulations on your run tonight. Chris, we'll open up the floor to you to give any Hayes Highs shout-outs, thank yous before we let you go.
Thank you. So I want to give a shout out to my teammates. Tonight was only Sam Dyer and Joshua Granada. Congrats on the win, my guy. But I know Samuel Garcia, Dakota Moniz, and my quote-unquote father, Nick, was on a little bit of a vacation this weekend. He couldn't race, so that's unfortunate to see him. But shout out to him and his wife that are watching, I believe, in a hotel room right now. Shout out to my actual parents that are watching tonight. I told them I won last week. They're like, okay, how come I didn't get to watch? So I'm like, all right, I'll send you the link tonight. Shout out to you guys for putting on a great show, the admins as well. And also cnorrisphoto.com if you need a photographer for any events, motorsports, sports, anything. I'll be willing to travel anywhere inside the U.S. Just might need a little bit of money for that travel fee, but aside from that, I'll be out there.
Absolutely. There we go. P3 finisher Christopher Norris in tonight's event here in Charlotte. And that brings us to our second place finisher, who I believe Thomas caught up with.
It certainly does. Second place out here tonight, Alex Fuller. Tom and Arie up in the booth. How are you doing tonight, Alex?
Pretty good. How are you guys?
We are doing okay. And I tell you, you ran the race of ups and downs out here tonight. We saw you lead in the race, we saw you winning a stage, and we saw you coming home in second place. But at times, you put yourself in position where maybe you were off sequence with the other drivers out here tonight, whether it be on fuel or tires. At the end, it kind of all came together. Bring us through your strategy coming into tonight's race, and if you had to modify it on the fly.
Yeah, usually I love to save a set for a lot, like, most people want to have a set just in case anything happens. And when I saw people weren't taking tires stage 2, just felt like, you never know what happens stage 3. So those are just 10 points. I didn't want to give up. I've had bad luck in some of these races. I'm like, these are points I need. I'm on the playoff cut line. I'm like, I just got to take those. I quickly realized that it really put me in a bad position. I thought it was bad, but very bad position. So stage 3 was I kind of didn't have a strategy until I realized I pit 10 laps into the run. I can make it on 2 stops like that. So I'm like, maybe if I save tires, I can claw my way back up. But luckily the caution came out right before I was going to pit.
Yeah, absolutely. You came in here tonight on the cut line, as you mentioned. You're currently battling Tanner Marr, who had an off night out here tonight. Gabriel Ngoli. So it looks like you are going to be moving up in the standings, if I did have to take a guess. So now we've got a couple of off weeks. The next time we're going to see the All-American Racing League out on track is at Richmond Raceway, followed by Rockingham, and then finally Michigan over the next 3 races. How are you feeling about your chances to advance your way into the playoffs over the next 3 weeks before we do see those playoffs come?
Oh, I mean, it's just the one race at a time. I feel like you gotta take the points when they come to you, and I found myself some of these incidents I've been in. I'm like, maybe I could give these spots up, and I think that's kind of a race by race. Like one spot may be the difference, but like during the race, I might have to give up spots just so I don't end up in the pits waiting for the race to end with 0 points or 30th place finish. So
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes it's better just to get some race points and let the race run out as it may. Alex, you're coming home with the second place finish out here tonight. Want to say it's your best finish here in the All-American Racing League, and well, you're sporting not a Christmas paint scheme out here tonight, but I do believe Arie's favorite paint scheme in the Scooby-Doo machine, as she likes to call it. We're gonna open up the floor for you. Any haze hellos that you want to give back home watching you come home with the podium finish out here tonight.
yeah, thanks guys. Shout out to team Noob Squad. Learn a lot every race. I Xfinity cars were not my specialty, and I'm surprised that I finished where I did tonight. I learned a lot of tire saving throughout, all throughout the season, but also shout out to Josh and Chris. That was some of the most fun racing I had. I don't know if I had Josh, but Chris made it impossible to get a shot at Josh, unfortunately. But it was a lot of fun trying to race those top three.
Yeah, we saw a great battle between you and the 38 at the end of the race there. But ultimately, you come home second place on the board. Alex, we're going to let you go debrief and run down this race one more time with your team. Congratulations on a second place finish.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, and Alex Fuller, our second place finisher. That's going to bring us to our winner on the night. That is the Grinch, who I believe Arie has.
I do indeed. The big winner. The time has finally come. I tell you what, there was a lot of close calls through the first 5 races, but tonight is the night. For the accountant, driver 16 gets it done in a race that had very, very much some ups and downs. I mean, at one point we watched you dropped all the way back to 23rd at the start of the race, and you find yourself up in the front with an opportunity at the end to hold off what was one driver that turned into 2, that turned into 3 in a pretty amazing final run right there. You had a teammate playing rear gunner. Walk us through your race, Josh.
The first stint definitely dropped back pretty far. We were thinking about the fuel number. I think you can get about 35 on a tank if you're not saving. And with the first stint being exactly 35 plus the stage caution and all that, I was being extra conservative, making sure we weren't going to run out. I know a few guys were at the end before that late caution. From there, I was just trying to get my way back up to the front without killing the tires too much. I had a run there where I cooked the tires probably within about the first 5 laps in stage 2 and ended up hurting me at the pit stop. But that last stint, caution fell at a good time. I had just pit. I had, I guess, the freshest tires maybe by a lap or 2, and then Norris definitely did me a favor there, not battling as quite as hard as he probably could have. I know he had 3-lap worse tires, so I think all we would have done is race side by side and just kill each other's tires and hurt each other's races, and someone else would have won it. So that was definitely nerve-wracking at the end, watching those guys get closer and closer for the last 15 laps or so. But we got it done. Things worked out tonight.
They certainly did. With your win tonight, you make the 6th different winner in the first 6 races here in the All-American Racing League, and I think you're already starting to kind of make yourself known for defensive driving. I don't know, maybe with these other drivers, but with me certainly up here in the booth having called all of these races, this is not the first time we've seen you go out there and do your damnedest to defend from behind and hold these drivers off. So props to that one. We head into Richmond after 2 weeks off here for the holidays. We've got Richmond and Rockingham coming up, a couple of shorter tracks and very much driver tracks. How are you feeling heading into those?
Definitely going to be a change of pace. Richmond has always been a decent track, kind of up and down. Rockingham, I'm really looking forward to. I know a couple of my teammates there are very fast, so just trying to carry the momentum, maybe get a top 5 or something, and just keep the thing in one piece, and try to keep people behind me more. I guess that's kind of become my MO, at least as far as the broadcast is concerned, with the defensive driving. Might not be the fastest on raw pace, but get out in front of strategy and try to just block the best you can. But just hoping to keep up the momentum and see what we can do the next couple weeks after the holidays.
Absolutely. Well, you've got all the momentum in the world now, securing the win here. We'll go and open up the floor to you, Josh, to any Hayes Highs, thank yous, and shout outs before we let you go celebrate.
First off, of course, thank you to you guys for putting this on. It's always a lot of fun to watch. Everybody's watching. Can't do it without you guys. The people who put on this league, I know Cody, Tanner, Dalton, they all work really hard with this, and it's been a ton of fun racing so far. Obviously, the teammates, Norris, I know Nick Crawford's watching right now. I think Sam Garcia's watching. We got to get them their wins. I know they're due as well. I think Crawford was leading the points coming in tonight, so yeah, thank you guys for putting on a show, and hope to be back here in a couple weeks. Hope you guys have a wonderful holiday.
Absolutely. Thank you, Josh, and congratulations again on the big win tonight. That is our top 3 results, and at the start of the night, Tom, I did hint at the fact that I thought it might it might prove to be one of the most exciting races of the season so far, and I don't know about you, but I would venture to say that was pretty dang fitting.
I don't think Charlotte let us down in the slightest out here tonight, and we talked about the excitement that Charlotte Motor Speedway brings, and we saw 4, maybe 5 cars at the end of tonight's race with the chance to take home the victory out here tonight. Ultimately, Joshua Kanata gonna take the victory and his first win of the season, lock himself into the playoffs out here at the end of race number 6, Arie, and some issues for drivers out here tonight, and no issues for the 16, despite an interesting first stage, I guess we'll say, for Josh.
Absolutely, ups and downs, but at the end, that's what matters. We'll see if we can bring up our final official results for the evening. Officially unofficial, as I like to say, pending any potential post-race shenanigans that may or may not be afoot. Let's take a look then, shall we, at our results for race number 6 here in Charlotte. Joshua Kanata, our big winner, driver of the 16, gets it done ahead of Alex Fuller in the 45. Christopher Norris follows up a win last week with a P3 tonight ahead of Brian Zimmerman. Fantastic run in P4. Gabriel Ngoli, sneaky top 5 by the end of it. He's going to finish ahead of Matt Semple in P6. Jamie Walker, heartbreak, falls down to P7 by the end. Larry Bell with a solid P8 tonight. Matthew Pavlik with a great finish in P9 for his season as well. And rounding out the top 10, it's Zachary Wake.
11th place going to be held by John Perkins in the 34 machine out here tonight. Sam Dyer, one of the biggest movers out here tonight, started 26th, finishes 12th out here tonight, followed by Rob Higgs Jr. in 13th place. Ryan Rose led some laps out here tonight, comes home in 14th, followed by Shane Johnson. That rounds out the top 15. Christopher Puglisi in the number 53 is going to come home 16th, followed by Stoney Benfield, who we saw have an issue on the exit of pit road at the end of a stage. William Bruton in the 83 is going to come home 18th. Chris Lawrence comes home 19th, with Mark Arthur in 20th.
In 21st, it's Chris Carroll being involved on that pit exit incident ahead of Tanner Marr in 22nd. Cody Gibson, driver of the 7, finishes in 23rd. Brian Troy in 24th. Nolan Milnes comes home 25th. And rounding out the field in 26th, it's Jackson West.
And that rounds out our field of 26 out here tonight. 6 races down in the All-American Racing League, Arie, and 6 different winners. We go to our first real short track of the season next time. We're live on the Cyber Thunder Broadcast Network. That's going to be at Richmond Raceway on January 3rd. A couple of these drivers taking a couple of off weeks here to celebrate the holidays and, maybe set themselves up for a run to the playoffs here, as we are just about halfway through the regular season here in the All-American Racing League.
That's right, a well-deserved vacation for everyone involved here in the All-American Racing League. And for those of you guys out there watching and supporting week in and week out, your friends and family out here on track, couldn't do it without you guys. Don't forget to subscribe, drop a like, and get notified for when we go live in the future. Next time we'll be here, January 3rd.